Charles Park, Broker Manager, Remax West. Today is Thursday, May 28th. It is now 10:01 a.m. So like most things, I like to get started on time. We're going to allow the participants to join in as they, some of them are probably hopefully not installing Zoom for the very first time on their computers, and they're going to jump in. So I'm going to start in a little bit softly here. I'm going to share my screen with you guys. First and foremost, this should be very, very familiar. Now, Evelyn, if you can control the mute button, I'm just going to keep all of you on mute. If you know how to navigate your app, please either raise your hand, right, or type in a chat or your questions in the chat. I'm actually going to have the public chat open up on my screen in the training room. So I'm just going to keep, if you see me glancing over, it's because I'm looking at the big wall mounted television, and I'm looking at some of those comments and questions that are on there. Okay. So yeah, we've got over 100 people easily signed up for this. So if you could just raise your hand so we can see that you do have a question if you want me to stop the presentation, or if you want to put something on the group chat and I can glance up and address it at the very moment, then we'll try to get through the presentation that way. Normally, this is a 4-hour course in person. So I condensed it to 3 hours. I've played it back in my head several times. If you were to actually take this course from the Toronto Real Estate Board, and they have 2 segments. They have the Web Forms course and they have the Authentisign course. They are 2 1-hour courses put together as 2 hours together. However, what I do is I add a lot more to my courses, and then I also want to make sure that there's time for discussion at the end of the oh, Baldeep, you can hear that ring as well? Oh my gosh. Evelyn, if you're still on, maybe you can keep working on trying to get rid of that ringing noise every time somebody joins the meeting. Okay. So anyways, I'm going to get started. As you can see on your screens, you should be able to see, I've shared my screen with you, a very familiar home screen from the Toronto Real Estate Board. I'm going to make a cheesy plug right now. Yesterday, voting started for the 2020-2021 Board of Directors. Please click on that homepage and cast your vote. You have until noon on June 2nd to cast your vote, so please do so. It's really important that we elect a very strong board of directors. A lot of them have videos on the link, and if you want to review those videos before casting your vote, please do so. And you know, we can look forward to having a nice, strong leadership committee at the board. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead, and as you can all see here in the left-hand side on the home page, we've got what used to be called Authentisign is now called Webforms-Authentisign. For those of you who have not joined my classes from before or have not been following me, a few weeks ago, we kind of got sprung web forms. Web forms and Instinet, which was the Trev version of the software from Transaction Desk, which is created by Lone Wolf, merged. Okay, they migrated together. There was a lot of confusion, and for those of you who attended my, my October and November training, I was teaching Instinet, which was strictly the Toronto Real Estate Board version. So if you guys can see on the left-hand side there that there is a Webforms-Authentisign, and you're following me and you've got your computers open, you can split screen. If you guys are on your laptops, you can split your screens. You can minimize the Zoom window, maybe click and drag it to be about half your window. And on the other half of your window, you can physically log in to Stratus through your browser, preferably Chrome. Okay, go to the home screen and follow along. Does that make sense? All right. So I'm going to so this is actually my personal account. I've already actually logged into Instinet and Authentisign. My dashboard is going to look different from yours. And the reason why mine looks different is because I've got these widgets at the bottom that you may not have. So if you see this lock in the top right-hand corner, right, you can actually unlock a whole bunch of widgets at the top of your screen. You see that? Now what I've done is I've actually taken a few of these widgets and I've actually put them down in here. So the Authentisign widget, which may be a little bit different from what you guys see, has been clicked and dragged, right, down to the bottom left-hand corner, and I put my documents in the bottom right-hand corner. So don't be worried if my screen looks different from yours. I actually have another authenticator here where I could show you what it may look like if you're just logging in for the first time, or if you were in Instanet previously and you haven't done a transaction since you were last in Instanet and now are logging in for the first time to Webforms. That's why it looks different. I want to go into very quickly the clauses. So if you guys have got your I'm going to close this. I'm going to lock my dashboard again. That's a little lock that's in the top right-hand corner. And I'm going to bring my mouse way over to the far left-hand side. Now I'm going to go all the way down where you see these little wheel cogs. If you hover above it, it should say setup. So if you guys are following me, I want everybody to click on setup. And you should all see this menu. And out of this menu of items, right, I really would like us to click on clauses. If I'm going too fast, raise your hand or put in a comment. Okay. Now, you can see here there are 3 categories in clauses. There are personal clauses. Now, let's see. Yes, they brought over our office clauses. Okay. I'm going to go back home here. And system clauses. Now, for the purposes of training, guys, I'm only going to refer to the system clauses because the way that the training is run at the Toronto Regional Real Estate Board is they refer to the OREA standard clauses that we all have. It's something that's common to all of us right across the board, right across the province. So I am going to specifically look at the English version of the system clauses. And when I'm referring to these clauses, right, I'm going to be calling them out by the title that they're actually programmed into the system. Now, to give you an example, if you guys have all, okay, there's 81 of us now. This is great. So I'm going to actually stop sharing this screen momentarily, and I'm going to share a different screen with you guys. And that is this screen. So I've got in Microsoft Word, if you guys can all see this, there it is, okay, a list of all the clauses, right, that I typically put in my agreements, okay? Why is this important? Because a lot of us in our daily practice use standard clauses, the same number of clauses each and every time. So if I'm doing a freehold resale, then I'm gonna use the freehold sale clauses pretty much all the time. It's easier to delete, right, than it is to add, especially when you're like, oh, that clause, what was that clause called? Well, you know what? Let's create standard templates, and this is part of the training, for residential freehold sale clauses, residential condo clauses. Now, because I've got a little bit of extra time, because I'm not being stopped and interrupted by people being physically in my class, I'm also going to go in here and I'm actually going to talk about the residential condo lease clauses. And I am briefly going to talk about, if you look at the bottom of your screen here, the residential state of emergency clauses. Okay, so I've got 3 clauses that I think are fairly important. Okay. Yeah, we are working on trying to get rid of that beep. Just bear with us so far, but let's keep going with the training, guys. So we are going to be covering these clauses. Now, on the right-hand side of my screen, oops, someone has shared their screen with me, and I don't know who that is. I'm going to have to disable that. Evelyn, can you see that going on?
I see Honey Steiner's screen.
Okay, Honey, you have probably done this by accident, but that's okay. Everybody seeing my screen again? Great. So I'm going to scroll over to the right-hand side here. I'm going to minimize our participants. Actually, I'm going to minimize the video window here. Okay. and I'm going to go back up to the top. You can see here, these are the forms that we are going to be using for each one of our templates. Now, I'm going to qualify us here a little bit. A template is going to be the raw package in the generic packet in which we create a transaction kit from. Okay, so when I say we're going to be creating templates, it's exactly that. A template is something that you refer back to and create for all of your offers from here on in. A transaction kit is specific to a particular property that you're doing a transaction for. So when you're looking at the number of forms that are on the right-hand side of your screen, I've got residential freehold sale form. So form 100, agreement of purchase and sale. Form 320, confirmation of cooperation and representation. Form 810, working with a realtor. Form 801, offer summary document. Form 123, waiver, or Form 124, notice of fulfillment of condition. Guys, I know that some people prefer to use the waivers. Some people prefer to use the notice of fulfillment. I'm not going to argue with you in your practice. And you're probably asking, why do we have all these forms? And why do we need all these forms in our templates? The reason why is because from the template, it's easier to delete or not use the form than to go out and find it and add it. Okay, so we're going to be adding all of these forms. Okay, and if we keep going on, Form 120 is the amendment. You may use an amendment, you may not. Okay, but this amendment is specific to the residential freehold sale forms. Okay, Form 650, so 630 is the individual identification record. That is our FinTrack form. 635, receipt of funds record. And finally, the worst form that we don't want is Form 122, the mutual release. Okay, so now that you've seen that for the residential sale forms, we're going to refer back to this screen. I'm going to stop sharing this, and I'm going to share my original. Where are we here? Okay, share screen. Let's go back to my browser. Sure. Okay, so this is where we left off when we were in web forms. Okay, we were looking at the clauses. I'm going to go back to my system clauses. Actually, I'm going to go back right up to the home menu. So setup. Let's do this one more time. I want you guys to get used to the practice of going to the home menus. Let's go into clauses. And this time I'm going to click on personal clauses. Now, for a lot of you, you may not have personal clauses. So if you want to add a personal clause, there's a clause that you guys specifically have, and you want to add it to the system. And I'm going to give you an example. Actually, I recently sent, it was a clause to someone that was for a collateral agreement. Collateral agreement clause. Okay, and if you can see your screen here, I'm going to cut and paste this clause. This is an example of what a collateral agreement clause might look like when you're getting a listing. Okay, I'm going to copy that right out of my email. Okay, and I'm going to go back to my system here. Click on my clauses CROA web forms, and I'm going to add. In the top right hand corner here, there is an add button. I'm going to click on that. I'm going to click add new clause. Okay, and I'm going to call it exactly that. Collateral agreement clause. Right, and because I've got the body of this, when I click on the body, a little green box opens up. If I right click my mouse and I paste that clause that I just had in an email that I received or I sent, okay, which is in text format, I've now pasted into my personal clauses. So you guys all must have personal clauses somewhere, something that is, you know, unique to your specific business. And I'm just showing you exactly where you can find these, save these in the system. I'm going to open up the chat again. Okay, honey, I know that you don't share your screen. you need to see mine. I don't need to see yours. Okay. So honey, if you're listening, it's okay. Don't worry about that. Minimize your screen, make it smaller, and then you can work in Treb on the other side. You're probably having trouble running the two systems at the same time. Okay. Now that I'm finished pasting my generic clause, I'm going to go to the right top corner and I'm going to click save. And I call that the collateral agreement clause. So these are all alphabetic, I believe. And if I go, there it is, collateral agreement clause. So if I click on it, there it is. Okay, great.
Charles, can you share that with us?
Yeah, I can share that. Okay, you know what? Actually, here's what I'm going to do. So from the original email that you all received to register for this course, there is Eva's her email in there. And for those of you who don't know my email address, please let her know that you would like, I'm going to have in the, like in a Word format. So it'll be in editable format, all of a whole bunch of clauses. You can pick and choose which ones you like. I recently emailed close to, I believe 15 clauses to my branches for them to refer to whenever they were working on a particular transaction. So if I actually refer back to, if you're looking at my personal clauses on your screen right now, I've got I've collected over the last few decades lots of different clauses. Oh, you're also going to see duplicates. This was another quirky thing that happened, is that from Instanet, because they took from the legacy version of Webforms, they took all my custom clauses and dumped them into this new version of Webforms, which they called Webforms 2019. I took all of my clauses that I had in the legacy version of Webforms, and I brought them over to Instanet. And then because they got rid of Instanet and they migrated us back over to Webforms 2019, they copied all my clauses back to Webforms, which is why, if you look at your screen, I've got duplicate clauses sitting in my clauses here. Okay, but then I came up with a few new, you know what, I was actually diligently trying to go through and for example, I've got an aluminum wiring remediation clause. For those of you, like I sold in German Mills, which is at Steels and Don Mills in Thornhill. And we all know those houses that were built in German Mills, a lot of those houses were built with aluminum wiring. So I actually came up with a remediation clause for people to use when they come across a listing with aluminum wiring. And you know what? It's still a sellable property. It's a great location. And if the seller is willing to remediate, this is a clause that I worked with a few lawyers with to go through and I put that into my agreements or into my amendments when we came across it. Okay. So anyways, I just wanted, for the purposes of training, guys, I just wanted to show you where the clauses are, how to create a custom clause, and I will share with you, if you want, in like a Word format, some of my personal clauses for you guys to refer to. The one thing that I have been asked to share a lot of are my commercial clauses, guys. I'm not really comfortable doing that because in all honesty, I find a lot of people take my clauses, don't know what they say, and then just start slapping them into agreements. And because they don't understand what they mean, they get into a lot of trouble from the listing agents. So if you guys are dealing with commercial clauses, guys, please give me a call. I would prefer to walk you through it, explain it before just giving you the verbiage. You're also going to see that I've also got Schedule A clauses here. Recently, because we changed all the forms in January, the end of December, early January. I feel like I'm losing my voice here. The transaction kits, sorry, the templates that we created back in the fall all got disabled because the forms were out of date. So I was getting calls from people that I trained all over the place complaining that they can't access their templates, which is where they put a lot of their custom clauses. I get it. That became really frustrating. So what I ended up training them on what to do was to create a folder. So when you click on the add button in the top right-hand corner, you don't only have to add a new clause. You can add a new folder. So if I wanted to add a new folder, right, and I wanted to call it training clauses, Oops, there's one extra. Okay, so I called it training clauses and I click save. Okay, as you can see here, there is now a new folder just called training clauses. Okay, and then I can actually put clauses inside that folder. I'm gonna briefly open up my Schedule A clauses. What these are the entire Schedule A's from my templates that I've dumped into my personal clauses folder for completed Schedule A's. So rather than referring to individual clauses and picking and choosing, well, like for example, if I'm doing an agreement of purchase and sale on a co-op, here's my co-op Schedule A. And as you can see, there are slightly different clauses that we use for a co-op. Okay. I'm going to scroll down. Now, this is generic. There's nothing really custom in here. Depending on the cooperative that you're doing the agreement of purchase and sale for, you may or may not want to use some of these clauses. You may want to add, you may want to remove. I don't know. But actually, look at this. Right in here, there's kind of something funky. When I cut and pasted this clause into the system, you see there's a big space between the and seller. It's because there is a hard return from where I pasted it from. And when I pasted it into the clause section, it kind of recognizes that hard return. So I'm going to backspace that, hit space bar, and then that will condense the clause so it looks a little bit cleaner. Okay, that's just a little tip and trick right there. I'm going to close that. Okay, now I'm looking up at the group chat. I don't see any questions specifically regarding this. So I'm going to move forward, guys, if you don't mind. So I've got my co-op Schedule A's. I'm going to go up. Oops. Go back to my clauses. Click on the setup clause. There's one other thing in here that I need you guys to do. So if you can all follow me as well. On the left-hand side, I clicked on the setup icon again. As you can see, it's highlighted setup. We're going back to this menu, guys, because the next thing in our training is we're going to start dealing with templates. Okay? If you go over to the right in the middle of this list in here, you are going to see transaction templates. Am I going too fast for anyone? Let me know. Okay? Let's click on transaction templates, guys. Now, yours might be empty. You may have created a few templates already. I'm not exactly sure where everybody else is. If we were live and you were in the classroom with me right now, I would walk over, take a look at your screen, and I would take a look to see if you have any templates, and I could actually, critique on whether you created your template appropriately or not. So for the purposes of training, once again, what I want to do is I want to start with the first one. Okay, I want to create. So let's pretend I don't have any templates. So let's start this from scratch. Okay, and I'm going to click the add button. Okay, now at the top, I want to name my template. So what do I want to name it? Well, I want to create a residential freehold sale template. Now you can add template. Right now, you guys don't have to do this, right? I'm just going to put in training at the end of mine because I obviously have templates already. So I want to refer back to this particular template later on, okay? Here's something where a lot of you kind of skipped over during the training when I was doing the training back in the fall. A lot of you did not categorize your template. And can I tell you, this is a big step. You are missing one of the biggest things about creating this template, because you have to understand how the system categorizes this particular template. So if you are making a freehold residential offer, okay, and that's an agreement of purchase and sale, you want to buy this, okay, what is the best category that falls under? And that happens to be, in this case, the residential sale. So I'm going to click on residential sale. Okay. Now I could leave another description further in the description field here, but I don't really have to. Just the name in itself tells me exactly what this is. And then I'm going to click on save. And as you can see on your screen, right, The residential freehold sale template, in my case training, is a residential sale, which is the type of template this is already been saved now. I'm going to scroll down. I'm going to skip checklists. I'm going to skip contacts. Right? I'm going to skip documents and folders. I'm going to go right to forms. There are no forms in this template yet. So we're going to go to the right-hand side. Everybody following? And we're going to click on plus, add forms. Okay. Now, as it happens to be, we've got a number of different real estate boards with their logoed forms in web forms right now. What I want to do with you guys is I actually want to only really deal with the Ontario Real Estate Association forms in English, okay? So I'm actually going to click on that. And in the top right-hand corner, remember that, I'm going to share this with you again, okay? Stop sharing this. I'm going to share with you, once again, this screen. And on the right-hand side, you see that list? I'm actually going to be referring to the forms by their form numbers. Now, you can do this two different ways. You can either find the form by what the form is actually called in the system, or you can refer directly to the form number, which is right beside where it says Ontario here. So I'm going to be dealing with the OREA standard forms, not the Toronto Real Estate Board version of the forms. I've received agreements of purchase and sale, and for some reason, the agent, and they're not even a member of the Barrie Real Estate Board, has sent me a Barrie Real Estate form. I get it. It's the same form. It's got the Barrie Real Estate Board logo on it. I really don't personally care, but you know what? For the purposes of training, in your templates, you should be using the standard form, okay? So I'm going to stop sharing that. I'm going to go back to here. Great. So the very first form in a residential freehold sale template that I want is, and if you guys are all real estate agents, Form 100. Everybody there? Now you can see there's so many different versions of this form. There's a Brampton, Durham, Toronto, okay? I just want the Ontario one, okay? So I'm gonna click check mark. Now, oh, I should have qualified this. Please do not click ahead of me at this point. So I know a lot of people during my in-person training, they love clicking. They just love navigating all over the place. And then when they're looking up at the screen, they're going, oh, I went somewhere. I don't know where I am. And how do I get back to where you are? Guys, don't click ahead. If I tell you to click on something, stay there until I tell you to click on something else. If you could do that for me, that would be awesome, okay? So Form 100, right? I'm not gonna click add. What I'm gonna do here is I'm actually gonna take away the Form 100, I'm gonna delete it, and I'm gonna move on to my next form, which is Form 320. Oops, click again. There it is. And when I pull up Form 320, I want the OREA version of it. I'm gonna click check mark. Okay? I don't know how I ended up with 3 forms in my basket here. I'm gonna delete that. Close. Okay, I only want 2 forms in my template. Okay, so far we've only selected 2 forms. I go back up to the search bar, and the third form I want is Form 810. And I want the Ontario version. I'm gonna click check mark. Okay, everybody following? So as you can see, the basket has got the number 3 beside it. All right, I'm gonna take out 810. The next form that I want is Form 801, the infamous 801. There it is. So I want the Ontario version of the offer summary document. Okay. It's so funny. During my in-person training, as soon as I referred to the Form 801, a whole bunch of hands went up and everybody wanted to talk about Form 801. I'm not here to argue about the structure of that form. I just want to include it in my template, guys, okay? Calvin, yes, you need to, okay, accept them as pop-ups right in the beginning. It says accept or decline. I think it's I think it's referring to the training. If you're just logging in now, so just click accept and just move on and try to catch up with us, because we are in web forms. We clicked on, when we entered web forms, the setup cog on the left hand side. So you see these little wheels that are like watch wheels, cogs, and we went to transaction templates. We added a template. Okay, we called it residential freehold sale. Okay, the template name. And now we're adding forms. Okay, great. So now we're down here. I've already added form, oops, where did I leave off? Form 4. The fourth form that I added was 801. Great. So what is after 801? Form 123. Form 123 is the waiver. Let's get the Ontario version of that. And I only have to change one number here. So I'm just going to replace the 3 with a 4. And that is the notice of fulfillment. And I put a check mark in there. Okay. And let's keep going, guys. After doing that, Form 120. Once again, I only have to change one number. So normally, if you guys were in the class, I'd actually be going out there. Right, Janice, yes, you are supposed to be doing things on your own. Evelyn is recording the training, but I would highly suggest that you split your screen, have the training on Zoom on one screen, have your browser on the other screen, log into web forms, and try to follow along with us. Okay, great. So I've selected form 120, right? I'm gonna remove 120. I'm gonna go right into 630. There seems to be a bit of a delay. There it is. Now, this is the individual identification information record. Now, there was something a little quirky, and I believe it still exists. You can only, at any given time, add one individual identification record, because you see the check marks. It doesn't, there's no section onto the right-hand side here, because normally, if you have typically 2 purchasers, a husband and a wife, that want to purchase the property, well, you need 2 individual identification information records. So to get around that, guys, what I actually did during the training, I said, you know what? Let's add the Toronto version as a second one. Okay, so I've got 2 check marks on this screen, both of Form 630s. One has the Toronto Real Estate Board logo on it, one doesn't. Does it really matter? Not really. Okay, so now that I've added those, I've got 9 forms in my template. I want my receipt of funds record, which is Form 635. You only need one of those. Okay, and then last but not least, are the most dreaded form, which I hate signing, okay, is Form 122. And that is the dreaded mutual release. Okay. Great. Now, I've got 11 forms in my basket. So if you take a look at your basket, guys, you should be able to see the number 11 inside of it if you follow it along, right? I'm going to go now, and I'm finally going to add. Click on the blue add button. And look what shows up. All my forms are here. Okay, great. Now, we're going to skip down. I'm sorry. We're going to customize your agreement of purchase and sale. To do that in your template, oops, you got to hover above Form 100, and you got to click on it. This is actually going to physically launch the form. We don't want to fill, because this is a generic template, we're not going to fill any information here. Okay? We don't know the address that this is going to be for. We don't know the sale price, right? We don't know anything about this particular transaction. All we're doing, okay, is we're going to fill in the standard clauses. So we're going to skip right down to Schedule A. Now, Webforms/Instanet is a little quirky. You see what I just did there? I clicked on the body of the Schedule A for the green box to come up. You cannot add clauses to this schedule without clicking on that green box. So if that green box disappears and I click on clauses, it won't allow me to add them. Oh, actually it does now. Let's see if it actually works. So the first clause that I want to add, let's go back to that original form that I showed you earlier. I'm going to throw that back up. For those of you who have joined us late, I'm going to share with you, stop sharing this. You see how often I always go back to this? So the name of these clauses, right, is DEP/pay-2, MORT 4, INSP-1, INSP-15, CHATT-2, and MATE 1. These are generic clauses that really are in all my agreements of purchase and sale, okay? I'm gonna stop sharing this. I'm gonna go back to where I was building this.
Getting that list, Rose?
Okay, and I'm going to type in the first clause, which is DEP/pay. And there it is. So we want the -2, guys, which is further down here, and I'm going to put a check mark in it. Okay, and just like we did with the forms, we're not going to click OK. We're going to actually go back to the search bar. We're going to take this out, and we're going to put in our second clause, which is MORT-4. Okay, now MORT-4 doesn't even show up here, so I'm actually going to hit -4. Oh, why is it not showing up? Let's scroll down a little bit. MORT, oh, -04. I'm sorry, guys. You can see on your screen, there's a 0 in front of the 4. So what I want, right, is MORT-04. Now, if you question what's in that particular clause, you can always, I see a hand. Carol, do you have a question? Okay, Carol, let's try unmuting you 1 second. I'm going to try to find you. Carol, I'm going to unmute you.
Okay.
There you are.
Okay. When we were, you know how you clicked on the actual Schedule A and it showed up with the green bar. How did you get from there where the clauses? First you said they weren't.
I went up to clauses. I'll back up. I'll back up for you. Okay, no problem.
Okay.
Okay. So
Okay.
let's finish what we're doing here for now.
Okay.
Okay, so because I've got the MORT-04 condition, right, you can actually see how this clause is physically written. Now, you know, I was getting comments during my live training that this is not the mortgage clause that you guys like to use. I get it. A lot of you guys like using the, you know, the 5 business day clause or the 3 business day clause or whatever it might be. The Ontario Real Estate Association does not want us using that clause, but they're not going to prevent you from using those clauses. So that would be a personal clause of yours. They like physical hard times and hard days that the condition expires. They want a definitive, right, break line from when that condition expires so that there's absolutely no condition. Because I do get a lot of people calling me saying, well, I thought the condition expired at midnight, or I thought the condition expired at the end of the business day, which should be 5 o'clock. You see, it opens up all those arguments. So for those of you who are still using those clauses and have those clauses, because you can never find them, they're not in the system, right? And you continue to use those clauses, those are your personal clauses. So when I do get a call from the cooperating agent, if it happens to be our listing, because you know what, you exceeded your timeline, it becomes a gray area. So in referring to a mortgage condition as specific as to what time and what date it physically expires, guys, time is of the essence. So we can talk about that more during a forms training and forms and clauses training seminar that we will have later on in the year. Hopefully we'll be past the pandemic and we'll be able to see all your faces again and be able to meet in a training room. But for now, I'm only dealing with system clauses. So I'm going to close this, right? And I'm going to check off MORT-4. Now, I'm going to back up. I'm going to click OK. I've got 2 clauses that I selected, and they've already gone into the Schedule A. Okay. Now, Carol was asking, how did I get to the clauses? What I did is I went right up here, and there is a box with a pen, sort of like a pencil. Let's call it a pencil, not a pen. This is a pencil because there's a pen over to the right here, which is something completely different. This box with a pencil in it, and when you hover above it, should say clause. This is where we're accessing the clauses from on our Schedule A. So let's click on that again. Okay, and because we're dealing with system clauses, right? I clicked on system clauses. I want to search system clauses, not necessarily English. And the second clause that we put in there was MORT-04. I want the inspection clause next, INSP. So here's what's amazing. It actually picked up my personal clause. So I do have the clause that a lot of people like, right? 5 business days after acceptance. You can see the head in the top left hand, just to the left of that clause. This isn't a personal agent clause. But what I don't want that, I don't want it. I want the INSP-01 clause. And that is a general inspection clause. So this is a system clause from the Ontario Real Estate Association. So I'm going to put a check mark in this one rather than my own personal clause. Okay, I'm going to go back to the top. The next clause I want is another inspection clause. And a lot of people don't even know this clause exists. It's INSP-15. The right of reinspection. Okay, I'm getting the French version here as well. If I click on it, this is the system clause that merely tells you that you want to, these are purchaser visit, guys. These are purchaser visit clauses. And I know that a lot of people have personal purchaser visit clauses. This is the one that was specifically given to us by the Ontario Real Estate Association. Okay, so let's close that. Put a check mark in the circle. Okay, now the basket has reset back to 1. And you can see in the background that I've already inserted 2 clauses. It's going to add to those clauses. Okay, the next clause I want is the chattels clause. So I'm going to erase all of that. So put CHATT. The chattels clause that I want is the chat-02 clause. Okay, and that is this one right here. Now, I don't want to get in an argument. I know that a lot of you see that the OREA has put in the word good. Okay, a lot of you prefer the word things like normal, okay, or standard, or whatever it might be. Guys, I'm not here to argue about how this clause is worded. I'm just selecting it for the purposes of training, and I want to put this in my template, okay? And the final clause that I want to put in here as a standard in my template is a cleaning clause, which is MAINT dash, and I think it's 01. There it is. So I've got my own maintenance clause, okay? But I'm gonna pick the standard system maintenance cleaning clause. And if you click on it, seller agrees to leave the premises in broom swept condition. So I know that a lot of people, when I looked at their custom clauses, they were just calling it, you know, broom swept condition clause. So you just want the seller to leave the premises clean. And I've seen all sorts of customizations, and I'm sure you guys have that out there where, you know what, you combine it with the right of reinspection. You want to go in a day before closing, right? And if there's any garbage or debris left behind, you put in holdback clauses and all sorts of wild and crazy stuff. You know what? I'm not here to question the way you guys practice real estate. I'm merely here trying to teach you how this system actually works and how to insert clauses, okay? I'm going to click OK. And if I click on the chat group here, I see that some of you are talking to each other. Great. So now that we can review our form, and I'm going to see if I can get more of this in the screen here. So what I just did really quickly, and I'm using a PC, I'm not using a Mac. I hit Control and the negative button, which is right beside the 0 on my keyboard. By hitting Control negative, it zooms out. It zooms the screen out so I can actually see more of my screen. Yes, the font shrinks down. I can see more of my page, but now I can see more of what's going on in my offer. And if I scroll up and down, right, I can actually see what's going on. Okay, and that looks pretty good to me, guys. Now, if I'm not going to start customizing any of the other forms. I think this has brought us to a point, right, where we have actually, you know, we're pretty good, okay, in creating our first template. Now, there is something at the top here, okay? You see right here where it says File? I'm pretty old-fashioned. I like to save things before I exit out of them. Now, I've been told time and time again that you don't have to save anything in the system because it automatically saves as soon as you exit. You know what? I'm old-fashioned enough to say, you know what? I want to make sure that I want to save all my work. So I'm going to hit File at the top. I'm going to click on Save, and I'm going to move over to Save. So that's File, Save, Save, and I'm going to click. Okay, and now it says the form has been saved. Okay, so don't lose your work. Randy, yes, we are recording this. I hope Evelyn has enough space in her cloud to record this 3-hour seminar. If she's probably going to have to download it to a USB for me to upload it to YouTube. It will probably appear on my YouTube channel. Okay. All right. So guys, we have just completed our first template. So we're going to do something wild and crazy. We're going to click on the top left-hand portion of your screen. There's this dashboard. You see where there's a little speedometer? We're going to click on that. This will take us back to the home screen. Okay, Arnie, you got lost? I hope you saved your work, Arnie. But you know what? Just keep up with us. We're gonna get back to your template in a minute.
Hey, Charles, can you please expand that, please?
Expand what?
The sidebar.
Expand it?
Yeah, by clicking on the hamburger. Yeah, next. Yeah, right there. Right there.
there?
No, the other one. The other one. The red one.
Here?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. If you click on the 3 lines, then you can see where I'm going. There's the setup, which is where we came from. I just clicked on dashboard, which has brought me back to this home screen. So everybody's in their dashboard, I assume. I'm going to go down back to setup, right? And we're going to go over to the middle and we're going to click transaction templates. Now, remember what did I call this again? Freehold sale, right? Residential freehold sale. Where did you go? The training one. There it is. That's the one that I just worked on. And if I click on it, okay, and I go down to my forms, so we're just verifying the work that we did and it got saved. If I click on my agreement of purchase and sale, I'll want to see what's saved inside of that. Let's go down to the bottom here. There's my clauses. Okay, so all we did, guys, was verify that we have that template available to us. Now, I would hope that a residential freehold agreement of purchase and sale is, you know, your #1 template that you're always going to use, but there's another one, isn't there? Okay, everybody go back to the dashboard. I'm going to expand it again so you can see where I am. I clicked on dashboard, which is right here. Okay. We're going to go back down to setup. We're going to go back into transaction templates. I know this seems kind of monotonous for a lot of you. Okay. The next one I want to work on, residential condo sale. Okay. So let's pretend my transaction templates are empty. Okay. Arnie, you're a little bit lost. Hopefully you're keeping up with us. I'm going to click on add, which is the plus button in the top right-hand corner here. And what are we going to call this? Residential condo sale. And I'm going to call it a template. And for myself, I'm going to call it training. Okay, now don't click save. I'm gonna use this pull down menu. Which one of these categories best suits our template? Condo sale. Okay, so for those of you who have created generic templates but not picked a type, right? Later on, as we start getting into the e-signature component of this, you are going to regret not having categorized this particular template from the get-go. Okay, it's really important that you categorize your templates appropriately. Okay, I'm going to click save, which is the blue button. This should be familiar. We're doing this for a second time. Okay, so the name of this is residential condo sale template. It is a condo sale as the type. That's the category. I'm going to skip down to forms. Great, there are no forms in my template yet. So I'm going to click the plus sign. Now, what is absolutely amazing, guys, it is almost identical to freehold, isn't it? So what are we going to do here? Let's click on the Ontario Real Estate Association. That is the people that create our forms. Okay. And I don't want the booklet. I don't know why that defaults to being checked off. I want, in a condo, what's different? In the residential freehold sale forms, we use Form 100. In condos, we don't use Form 100. We use Form 101 because we have a different agreement of purchase and sale specifically for condominiums. So I'm going to check that off. Okay. For some of you, I might be moving really slow. For those of you I'm moving too fast for, have you chosen the forms? When you create a transaction, the next step is to add forms. Once you select all the forms you're looking for, 801, etc., you go into the form Schedule 8 and then click clauses. Arnie, sorry. Oh, okay, Jasmine, you're answering Arnie's questions. That's great. Thanks for helping out, Jasmine. Okay, so where are we here? I picked my first form. I want to pick a second form. So without clicking add, I'm going to put in the second form for condos. It's almost identical to the residential freehold. Okay, and that's form 320, confirmation of cooperation and representation. So let's select that. Okay, the basket shows two forms. Go back up to the search bar. The next form that I want, this is why this moves a little bit faster than it does in person, Form 810. So let's fire these off, guys, working with a Realtor, the Ontario version. Okay, I've selected that. I'm going to back out the number. Form 801. There it is. Offer summary document. Okay. I'm going to back out the Form 801. The next one I want is Form 123. Okay, great. The waiver. I'm going to check mark that. There's now 5 forms in my template. Back out the 3, change that 3 to a 4. This is your notice of fulfillment. Okay, I'm going to check that off. Okay, I'm going to back out the 4. I'm going to put in a 0. Form 120 is the amendment to the agreement of purchase and sale. Okay, and where is it? Check this off. Sorry, someone's trying to call me. Oops, there we go. Form 120 is selected. Back that out. Form 630. And for those of you who remember the first round, right, what we want is, yes, the individual identification record, but I like to add a second one, okay, which is the Toronto version, because we usually have 2 clients whenever we do a transaction, okay? I'm going to back out Form 630. I'm going to replace the 0 with a 5. Form 635 is the receipt of funds record. I'm going to check that off. Okay, that's 10 forms. And finally, the dreaded Form 122. There it is. System's a little bit slow, and that's the mutual release. I've checked that off. So please double check in the top right-hand corner, right? We've got an add button right above the 11 forms, and we're going to click on that right now. Okay. Now, just like we did the first time, we're going to scroll down a little bit. We're going to click on the agreement of purchase and sale under forms. And this is where we're going to add our condo clauses. Now, for those of you who are experienced real estate agents, you know, right, that the clauses are slightly different, right? The agreement's different, right? We've got all sorts of different things in here, like the maintenance fees and stuff like that. But you know what? We're going to go right down to Schedule A. Okay, and the first clause that we want is obviously the balance of the purchase price. So that's DEP. So I clicked on the body of Schedule A. I'm going to the top, right? I'm clicking on clause, which is the square box with the pencil inside of it. I'm going to click on it. And the name of this clause is DEP/PAY-02, I believe. Yep, balance of purchase price. I'm going to check that off in the circle. Okay. Janice, you're having trouble seeing the training screen and getting my screen on web forms. So yeah, that's just that is a Windows navigation issue. So if you have Zoom running on one screen and you have your browser running on another, you should be able to split your screen by shrinking it. Okay. So let's keep going. DEP/PAY-02. Great. The next clause that we want is condo-01. This is your status certificate condition. Okay. Let's check that off. And I want condo-03. Now, a lot of you guys may not have used this clause before. This clause was actually brought to our attention during the Instinet training from the Toronto Regional Real Estate Board Training Center. So having gone there, I didn't pick these clauses for you guys. I am mimicking the exact training course, right? Yeah, the buyer representation agreement, Manny, you're absolutely right. You can add to your template if you want. I haven't added it to my particular template because that I usually have signed prior to even doing any showings. At this stage, we've already gotten as far as wanting to put in an offer. So I'm hoping that you have your buyer representation agreement long before you even start your showings, okay? I hope that answers your question, Manny. But look at this, all alterations by owner. I'm gonna hit Control+ to zoom that in a little bit. So I know you don't have to put this in, guys, if you don't want to use this clause. Is this that actually just last year, or was it a year and a half ago about, we purchased a condominium for a client, and it was in Mississauga. It was in Mississauga Valley Road. And ironically, you know, our clients are attracted to, especially older condos that have been renovated. And this particular seller had renovated it very nicely. However, they installed in the main bathroom a jacuzzi tub. Now, this particular condo, and some of you may know this condo on Mississauga Valley Road, hydro is included in the maintenance fee. It is a common element. And because the jacuzzi actually draws power from the grid, there was a deficiency on the status certificate by having a jacuzzi tub in that specifically in that condominium. So it's interesting how that happened. And then when they started doing all this training, the Toronto Regional Real Estate Board during the training sessions suggested this clause. Okay, so guess what? You want the seller to represent that they have not made any illegal renovations to that particular unit. And the most common illegal renovation is the laminate flooring that you see people putting down. Because we all know, as you know, as condominium agents, that a lot of condominiums, they need a minimum of amount of sound insulation, right, to be placed between the laminate and the concrete floors to minimize the amount of noise that transmits through that floor. And for the people who don't get the permission from the condominium corporation and then just go ahead and start installing the laminate flooring, when you're the buyer agent and you go and you go, wow, this is beautiful, it looks great, and you find out, oh, they didn't put enough insulation in that floor. The people downstairs are complaining about, you know, the clip-clopping of the heels on that laminate floor. And then lo and behold, because the seller did not obtain permission, then you've got a deficiency registered on the status certificate. So this is a wise clause to be putting in. I'm going to leave it to your discretion, whether you want to use it for your template or not. I'm going to close this. I'm going to select it, and I'm going to keep moving. Okay, MORT-04. You've seen this clause before? Whoops, there we go. Condition on satisfactory mortgage. Great, the next clause is INSP-01. Now, a lot of you might also think, why do you need an inspection clause for a condominium? You don't own it. Guess what? Sometimes things like high-tech plumbing pop up, okay? So if you end up having to look at like when you open up the vanities and you look underneath, I've had many of my agents actually take pictures and ask me, Charles, is this high-tech plumbing? And I'm like, you know what? Give me a closer picture. You know, reach your hand around. Usually there is some kind of label on the plumbing. I know that there was also a little bit of IPEX that was also caught up in that class action lawsuit. But it's amazing. Sometimes these inspections are actually quite warranted. So I'm actually going to go ahead and put INSP-01 in my template. Hey guys, you can always delete it later on if you don't want it, but I'm putting it in, okay? And I'm going to back that out. I need INSP-15. Often we put these clauses in, right? This is the purchaser visit clause, okay? Because we want to see the unit before closing. They want to show it to friends and family. The next clause is CHATT-02. I believe with condominiums, this actually does apply, right? Especially if they have ensuite laundry, dishwashers, things like that. The number one cause for a lot of the floods is the dishwasher. People are overloading it and using the wrong detergent, which creates a flood and sometimes floods the unit downstairs. So we should make sure that these clauses are always included in our templates. The next clause is condo-11. So this is unique to specifically to condominiums. A lot of condominiums require key fob access. As a rookie real estate agent 20 years ago, I brought a buyer to bought a condominium on a street called Pond, and that was in Thornhill. It was on the south side of Highway 7 by Leslie there. And ironically, the owner was a former real estate agent. She had retired and saw that I didn't put in the chattels the key fobs or remotes. So on closing, my client got the key to the unit, but no way to access the unit because the key fobs and the remotes to the parking garage were not provided. And lo and behold, as a rookie agent, guess what? They had to pay for it. So you know what? We want to make sure that this clause is definitely in the agreement. And for those of you who are new agents on this seminar, it is, you know, take it from the people who have learned the hard way. I know it only costs $100 or $150 to get the remotes and the key fobs. Still, it was a little embarrassing because your client shows up all excited to get into the unit and they can't get in to the building. So let's get that backed out of there. And the last clause that I want in here is the MAINT-01. And that is, we want broom swept condition. Okay, great. I clicked very quickly. I clicked OK. Now, you see this warning message, guys? You've hit the maximum character limit on this field. Would you like to add an additional page? Because all the clauses did not fit page 1 or the single page that was provided to us, right? I'm going to click yes. This is actually a new feature that wasn't available back in the fall. We actually had to manually add second pages and cut and paste our clauses that were buried, right, on page 1. But guess what? That's still occurring here. The system, this is what I miss about the old web forms, the legacy version. You can see the scroll bar on the right-hand side. If you see a scroll bar on your schedule, it means you're going to have clauses that are going to be cut off. at the bottom of that page. So as a solution, I'm going to cut. Hopefully you guys know how to do this. I'm going to cut. So what I did was I right-clicked, right? I highlighted it. So I left-clicked, click and dragged the entire clause that I want to cut. I'm going to cut it. Okay, right-clicked, click cut. And I'm going to go to page 2. Let's scroll down a little bit. Here's what's funny here. I'm going to click here, right in front of but. I got to get my cursor wedged in here, guys. And for argument purposes, I am actually just going to hit a space bar, and I'm going to backspace this. I'm going to put my mouse right there and squeeze it in as best I can. And I am going to right click, right? And I'm going to paste. And does that look all right to you guys? Great. The status certificate condition, Manny, was the condo-01. So hopefully that answers your question, okay? Now let's review this. We've got a 2-page Schedule A, okay? And because we had so many clauses, right, it bled into a second page, okay? There you go. It looks pretty good. Now, what did I do last time? Because I'm a paranoid guy, I go to File in the top left-hand corner, I go down to Save, and I move over to Save. I want to save my work. So everybody, please save your work. Okay. Wow, it's already 7 minutes past 11. We're almost there, guys. We're almost there. So now that I've saved my work, I want to check on it. So let's go back to the dashboard. I'm going to hit on these 3 lines again. I'm going to expose all of my widgets on the left-hand side, and I'm going to click on Dashboard. So this brings us back to the original home screen. Okay. I want to go down. Let's expose it again because it keeps closing on me, right? I'm going to click on Setup. I'm going to go over to Transaction Templates. Now, if you are doing this for the very first time, you should see only 2 templates in your screen. Okay, so let's go down to my training templates. Residential condo sale template dash training. That's, for those of you who remember, that's what I called it. I am going to click on it. Yes, it is a condo sale template. And I'm going to scroll down. I'm going to click on Forms. Right at the top is my agreement of purchase and sale. I'm going to click on it. Great. And let's scroll down. Found my Schedule A, and there are my clauses in all their glory. Okay. Okay, Erlinda, when you cutting and pasting is actually not a feature of this specific software. It's more of a Windows thing. So if you know how to cut and paste in email, how to cut and paste in Word, all these other places where we cut and paste, it's the same process, okay? So anyways, guys, I'm really happy with my template. I hope you guys are as well. We're gonna now move on. We're not gonna do any more templates. We're moving on to transactions. So I'm gonna go back to my dashboard, which is my home screen for all of this. Now, hopefully I'm still logged in. I'm not exactly sure if I've been timed out or not. But if you're looking at your screen and the screen that I'm sharing with you guys, I shouldn't have to teach you how to do this. I'm gonna go to search properties. Awesome. Okay, so I am looking at the search properties menu. This is the quick search. And I'm not, usually if you guys are sitting here in the room, right, I'm actually gonna be talking about, I'm gonna ask you, let someone go search me a nice house to buy, okay? I'm gonna go to some of my recent searches here, and I'm just gonna pick a random MLS, okay? Let's see here, available, sale, continue.
Hi, Charles.
Hello.
Hi, sorry to bother you. Can we, for the sake of training, can we pick one single property? So
yeah, if you guys want to practice with me on one particular property,
Yeah. please.
Absolutely. Okay. So I'm
Thank
going to
you.
go to, because I'm a Richmond Hill agent, right? I'm going to try to find a house in Richmond Hill that I really like. Okay. I want it to be detached, of course. I want it to be a 2-story. Right.
Once you find it, can you please let us know about
Well, yeah.
the
I'm going to go into a
Thank you.
4-bedroom, and I'm going to go into a three-car garage. Shouldn't be too many of these out there, should there? How many 3-car garages are hanging out there on the MLS? 64, right? So I'm going to click submit. And let's click a street that I know of here. Well, I know 96 Bond. It's a $2 million house. Oh, actually, that's pre-construction. Never mind. Let's go to this Jacinta. Is that one of ours? I don't know. This looks familiar. No, it's not one of ours. Okay. So as long as it's not one of ours, makes it less confusing. So everybody, if you can see this MLS listing up on your screen, it's 15 Jacinta Court in Richmond Hill. It's at Young Street in Lake Wilcox. The MLS number is right here, actually. So N4770488. But here's now, we were all used to cutting and pasting or typing in the MLS numbers into web forms. We don't do that anymore. Okay. If you look at the top here, it says Webforms-Authentisign. So let me slow this down again. Okay. Look at the top of the MLS and find where it says Webforms-Authentisign. Okay. And I want everybody, if you see this listing, okay, go to this listing, find the Webforms-Authentisign button at the top of the listing in Stratus. And I want you to all click on it. This is the power of this particular software that we really didn't have before, okay? And look at this. It's opened up a transaction wizard. The wizard checkbox is already checked off. Now, all we're doing is we're answering questions. Now, we just created 2 transaction templates, correct? Let's pull down under template. Now, I'm gonna use the one that we created for training, residential freehold sale template training. This is the one that I just made with you guys. Okay, are we the Toronto Real Estate Board? Yes. Is it a freehold property? Yes. MLS number, and who are we? I am the cooperating salesperson. It actually defaulted to that. Okay, what are the other options here? Right? It could be a dual agency situation. We're not going to make it complicated. We're going to remain the cooperating salesperson. I want to create from a template a transaction. Everybody understanding me? So Wasim's question was basically that he wanted everybody to work off of the same MLS so that we could work together. Okay, what is the MLS number? If you're looking at your screen, actually right below where it says open, the listing MLS number is right here. Can everybody see that? N4770488. Can everybody see that? Can no one not see it? Okay, we are in the transaction wizard. On the top right-hand corner, I want to draw your attention that it actually does say wizard up here. Okay, great. We're going to answer a few questions. Quite simple. Property width, 78 feet. Depth, 138. That is all correct. Now, this particular property, I'm gonna go relate, because I already have the MLS open on Stratus. I'm gonna click on the Stratus tab at the top of my screen, and I'm gonna revert back to the MLS. Hopefully they got it right. It says fronting on the north side. Okay, so right here, can you guys see that? Fronting on north side. Okay, I'm gonna go back to Jacinta Court, and now I'm actually gonna type in here north. I like using caps. Okay. The legal description is here, and I'm gonna just quickly scan to see what else is in here that I can fill out. Purchase price. If we look at this MLS, they were asking for just over 2 million from what I remember, right? Here it is, 2,088,888. So I'm imagining they love the number 8 because it means fortune in Chinese. So I'm gonna offer them $2 million bucks. How many days of market? Oh, it's only been on the market for 2 days. You know what? forget it. It's going to be a multiple offer, right? So let's offer them $2,088,888. So let's go back to our transaction, $2,088,888. Does that look right? And on a $2 million transaction, what do we normally give as a deposit? Hopefully about $50,000. No, $100,000. Okay, and there's no additional deposit. It's present use. I'm going to assume this is single family residential. It doesn't look like anything else to me. So I'm going to go back in here and type in single family residential. Now you see where it says property includes here. I'm going to go back to Stratus. Let's see what it says in extras. Oh, it's got a built-in fridge, stovetop, ranges, bar fridge, dishwasher, microwave, fireplace, all the light fixtures, window coverings. So I'm just going to cut this right out of the MLS. I'm going to right click, I'm going to copy it, go back into my transaction, I'm going to paste that right in here. Right? And as a lot of you know, it's bad practice to leave empty spaces on an offer. I'm going to type in none. There's no exclusions here. Rental items, hot water tank. This should all seem really simple. And let's go back to the listing since we have it open. Let's go back to the top. Did we see a schedule attached to this listing? Yes, we did. So look right here. It says schedule at the top. Century 21 listing, Century 21 leading edge. Okay, I believe that's Paul Barron's brokerage. Now, what we're gonna do here, guys, follow me really carefully. I wanna download this Schedule B, okay? It's obviously their deposit disclosure, which is required under REBA. So I'm gonna hit the download button on my browser, and I'm actually gonna save it. Right now on my desktop, I have a folder called temp. You can see where I'm trying to save it. And this actually is giving me some kind of strange number. I'm not exactly sure what this number means, but I'm going to put Jacintha, underscore B. That's what I'm going to call it, just so I know what it is. So I renamed the schedule on my desktop under my temp directory, this specific schedule. Okay, now because I've saved it, it's actually automatically imported it into Adobe and is previewing it for me. I'm just going to X out of Adobe. I'm going to refer back to this schedule a little bit later on. Okay, what I do want to do is go back into here, and because I know there's a schedule B, I'm going to put B into additional schedules. Great. This should probably be pretty. Oh, by the way, you see at the bottom where it says save and exit? Don't click on that. Don't ever click on save and exit, because if you do, you've got to relaunch the transaction kit, go back into the wizard in the top right-hand corner to pick up where you left off. So that's a big mistake that a lot of people make during the training. So what I actually want to do is click on the next button. I want to stay inside the wizard and click on next. Okay. Now the dates here, right? You're going to see a lot more information that you actually physically need. I'm going to click here. Because I'm preparing the offer today and my clients are going to sign it today, I'm going to click today's date. And because they're signing it today, was there any messages in the MLS to say how long an irrevocability they wanted? They want 24 hours. So if they're signing it today, they want until tomorrow. So let's give it to them. Irrevocability date would be the 29th. Okay, there's no acceptance. Okay, the closing date will probably be up to your client. Let's pick 60 days from now. Let's pick the 30th of July. Okay, and title search date should be 2 weeks before closing as standard practice. So that would be the 16th of July. Got it? Possession date would be something that's a little bit different. Don't worry about that right now. It has to do with pre-construction and new builds. But instead of clicking save and exit, we're going to click on next. We want to stay inside the wizard. Click next. Okay, Wahid, I will slow down. Let me know if you've typed in all the information on that agreement. We're almost done. This is going to be the best part of this entire training is yet to come. Okay, so we're going to wait a couple minutes for Wahid. maybe if you can let us know when you caught up and you've clicked on next, because this is really important. Contacts. If you don't set up your contacts here, you're going to have to set them up later on. Okay. And the obvious thing for you guys to physically see when looking at this screen, repeat the dates. So I picked 60 days. So I picked the closing date of July 30th, Wahid. Okay. Title search date was 2 weeks before that, which I believe was the 16th. We're giving them the offer today. We're giving them an irrevocability until tomorrow, which is 24 hours. Okay. Now, staying inside the wizard, when you click on next, there's an obvious party that's missing under contacts, and that are the buyers. We can see the listing brokerage and the cooperating brokerage. We can see the listing agent, right? And we can see the cooperating agent. We can even see the seller, but we can't see the buyer. This is where you would add the buyer's information, guys. Okay. And I don't know why people skip by this. They're like, oh yeah, looks good. I'll just keep going. If you're not going to use a wizard, fine, do it on your own. Now, for argument's sake and for training, guys, I'm going to add someone myself. Okay. Oh, sorry, new transaction contact, which is the first option anyways. I'm going to create from scratch a contact. Okay. At the top, first I got to let the system know, who is this person? They are the buyer. Okay. I am adding a buyer. You're letting the system know that this is a buyer contact. And I'm going to add my slang name, Chuck. Because I actually have a Yahoo email account that calls me Chuck. All my friends from high school call me Chuck, right? I'm still a Park. Okay. This is very important, guys. Minimum to every contact is a first and last name and an email address. So I am actually going to type in my Yahoo email address. So for those of you who want to know this is one of my oldest email addresses that I had. I actually created 2001 back in 1999, but I thought 2001 sounded good, so I chose 2001 after the movie. So I'm creating a buyer. Now, fictitiously, you might, if you have a second email account that you can email yourself this transaction, let's do it. Because then you can actually see by emailing yourself what it actually looks like. So I'm emailing this to myself, okay? I am going to save. I'm not going to go into address. I'm not going to go into any other information. The minimum criteria for a transaction contact is first name, last name, and email address. Let's click save. Now, if you have a second buyer, okay, Wahid, we got to keep going. We can always fill in those dates later on, but let's keep going. If I want to add a second buyer, I can do it again. But in this particular case, to speed up the time, we're not going to add a second buyer. We are going to maintain just one buyer. And I am going to click on next from contacts. Now we're into forms. Now, because we imported this from a template, all the template forms came into the transaction automatically. This is where we customize the forms for this specific transaction. Okay, and the obvious one to start modifying right here is the agreement of purchase and sale form 100. So I am going to click on it. And look at that. Because we created this transaction directly from Stratus, it auto-populated the entire agreement of purchase and sale for us. Now look at this. There's a couple of fields that are missing. For example, Jacinta Court is missing here. So I'm going to type that in. Jacinta-CRT. Okay, so this is where you would, sorry, someone's unmuted their microphone. Are you guys keeping up with me? No? Okay, great. So this is obviously in the town of Richmond Hill. Not a city yet, is it? All right. We know that 78.79 Now, what's funny is we specified off MLS that it was feet. We knew it was feet, but that didn't actually propagate over. So I'm actually going to add that to my form. Okay. And I always like putting in the municipality at the end of any legal description. This is just my my common practice. Okay. But what did come over was we're giving them a full price offer. Okay. And there's a pull down menu here. Because we're in COVID-19 and we can't physically show up for offer presentations, obviously we're going to give them the check if they accept it. Okay, even though it's multiple offer, you might have the opportunity to go get your drafts and your certified checks made in advance. But for training purposes, let's click on upon acceptance and the listing brokerage. Where do I get that? We want to give it to the listing brokerage. So I go back to Stratus MLS. I still have it open. What I usually do is I click on the brokerage. Right, and I cut and paste the name of the brokerage right out of Stratus. Let's close that. Did you see how I did that? I go right back into the transaction kit and I paste the brokerage name right into that spot. Oh, is Richmond Hill a city now? Great. See how out of date I am? Awesome. Okay. Now, what else is missing here? It's irrevocable by the buyer. If we can all agree on that, I'm going to bring that up a little higher on the screen for you guys to see. Oops, too far. And let's give them, I don't personally like a midnight irrevocability, but the reason why we put 11:59 p.m. because it makes it clear, right, that at 12 o'clock, which is midnight, which belongs to the next day, okay, we're going to give them an 11:59 p.m. irrevocability on the 29th day of May, which is tomorrow. We chose a July 30th closing date. And look, my email address automatically got populated because that's actually what's on, this email address is from Stratus, okay? I want to email it to them. I want to make that legal. So if I go back to Stratus and I click on this listing agent, his name's Nick Malakovsky. I'm going to take this email address. I'm going to assume that this is actually his email address. That's where I'm going to send it. I'm going to copy it. Let's close that. Go back into court. I'm going to paste that directly into the email section. Okay. Let's go further down. My chattels showed up. Oops. Why is this not moving? There we go. Fixtures are none. Rental items was the hot water tank. We have to choose that the HST is included in. Okay. Title search looks good. Type of property looks good. And look at this. We're going to go right to the signature page. It actually auto-populates the client's information. Arnie, you can't copy his name. If you can't cut and paste, we'll have to have a separate discussion because that really is not a function of web forms. That is a Windows function. Okay. So if you can't cut and paste, you're just going to have to type. Okay, Arnie? Great. The listing brokerage looks correct. The cooperating brokerage looks correct. Okay. And guys, if you want to add, like, if you know any of this information, you can always just type it freehand into here. Okay. And if I wanted to type my name in here as a cooperating brokerage, it resizes your name depending on how long it is right into that spot. Okay, so that's just to show you that this, because we are actually physically in the form, we can actually type. Okay, and look at this. All the clauses from my template actually showed up. They're already here. Right, now let's just say Chuck Park, my client, doesn't need a mortgage. So why do I put a financing condition in here, right? So this is the opportunity to sit here and go, you know what? I'm gonna get rid of this. I'm just gonna highlight it and hit delete. And it's gone. Okay? So you guys can freehand what you want in your schedule, customize it, add, delete, change, whatever you want physically in the transaction kit, not in the template. because the template is generic. It's for all agreements. In the transaction kit is where you're making all the customizations for this specific transaction. Okay, great. Let's keep going. It was only a one-page Schedule A. Now, if I go to the top here, you see where it says transaction forms? I'm not done. This isn't the only form that I need to fill out. I'm going to click at transaction forms at the top, and I'm going to go on to the next form that I want to send my client. Okay, we're already talking about bars and going for drinks. Great, guys. And look at this. This is where you would start filling things in. I don't know how many co-op agreements I've gotten from you guys, and nobody checks off these boxes. I don't know why. You guys don't like checking off boxes. I get it. But then think of the legal ramifications if you haven't checked those boxes off, okay? All right. We are the cooperating brokerage. We represent the interest of the buyer, right? And as for the commission, let's go back to the Stratus MLS. What are they cooperating at? Wow, a full 2.5%. Okay, so that we verified as per MLS, we put 2.5%. And for some people who are really particular, they're going to put in plus HST right into the commission line. Okay, great. Boom, boom, boom. Looks like all this stuff is all ready to go. Okay, now let's go to some of these other forms. What other forms do we need to fill out? Working with a realtor. Okay, we went to the top, clicked on transaction forms. We're going to click on working with a realtor now. Okay. By the way, I'm not sure if you guys know, but in the United States, because the real estate agents actually register a title on closing date, they get paid 6%. So their jobs are considerably harder than ours up here in Ontario. Okay, and who's the client that's signing this? That didn't populate, so I got to fill that in. That was actually Chuck. Okay, and because he's a buyer, I got to type in Remax West. Okay, and that looks like it's all filled out. And if I want to put Chuck's name down here, so you can see clearly where he has to sign, this is the opportunity to freehand all that. So you guys can get all that stuff done. Okay, everybody up with me? Mary, you're having a problem with the transaction form. It doesn't pop up like mine. If you're using a Mac, it may be different. Are you using a Mac? Yeah, okay, so and hopefully, now Mac, are you using Safari or Chrome for Mac? Safari. Yeah, you should consider getting Chrome, okay, for the Mac, because it'll be more homogeneous. I don't want to get too far into, I don't want to diverge into the Mac universe, but I'm just going to keep going. So just keep up with me if you can and navigate. I believe you can manually toggle the windows on your Mac, okay? Great, I'm going to go to this back to the top, transaction forms again, offer summary document.
Excuse me, Charles?
Yeah.
Question. Can you choose multiple forms on the other screen instead of one at a time?
Multiple forms.
Not when
you can only edit the forms one at a time. You can only edit the forms one at a time.
Okay, so you couldn't pick 2 or 3 and then...
No. We're editing the forms. We have to edit the forms one by one.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
You're skipping ahead because we can combine all these forms when we've selected all the forms. We're going to do that on the e-signature side. Okay?
Right. Thank you.
Okay. So now we're in the offer summary document, guys. You know what? Some people want it, some people don't. You can see here there's a signature for the buyer. I don't really know exactly when I'm going to fill all this stuff in, so I'm just going to leave it blank for now. I'm actually not going to fill it in, and we're also going to save a little bit of time. And that's pretty much it. Like you're right. If I don't have a buyer representation agreement, I guess I could have added that form in right about now. But for training purposes, let's just go with the forms that we're actually physically sending our client. Okay. So I'm going to close. I'm going to get out of the transaction forms. Now watch this. This is a step that a lot of people get confused about. There's 2 pens on this screen. If you look at the top, there is a pen, right, with a little line beneath it. And that is specifically sending this document directly into Authentisign and only Authentisign. Okay? Don't get this confused with the pen that looks identical to it on the left-hand side, because that, although also Authentisign, can also take you. Now I'm going to diverge just a little bit. If I go to the App Store, we have all sorts of other e-signature options here, okay? If you link any of these other e-signature options directly to your web forms by clicking on the left-hand side pen, it will take you and ask you which one of these e-signature options would you like to use with this particular document, this particular transaction.
Sorry, Charles, one quick question.
Yeah.
All these forms, should we save again one by one, or no, automatically it will be saved?
It automatically save, but you know what? Like, okay, so let's go back to that, okay? I'm gonna go back into my dashboard because I diverged, right? I'm gonna click on my dashboard, right? What was I working on? Under transactions, there is Jacinta Court. I'm gonna click on it. What was the last form I worked on and actually physically typed into? Was it the co-op agreement? No, was it working with a realtor? I think it was working with a realtor, right? Let's click on that form from here. And let's see if whatever I did saved. Look at that. I hand wrote all this stuff in there. I didn't click save, right? But when I exited out of the form, it automatically saved. Does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. So now that let's do that one more time, guys. Now that I showed you, we diverged, okay? We went into the App Store, which is the little shopping cart. If you guys have a DocuSign account, right? If you have a Next One account, okay? If you have an eSign account, Secure Share. Now, for those advanced users in our company who are Next One users that use the electronic document management system that we endorse, the EDM login is under transaction management. It's actually the only one that Treb actually has, because it's, the transaction desk that used to be here is already integrated inside web forms. If that, what I just said, is too confusing for you, that's okay. We can have that discussion at a later time. For argument's sake, I'm just gonna go back to e-signature, right? If I want to go into my DocuSign account and I wanna link it to web forms, I can link that here. That's not what I'm here to train you guys on, okay? We're gonna go to Authentisign. So I can go right into the app right here. And that's gonna launch Authentisign, okay? And all my previous transactions that I've done in Authentisign, where I've actually created e-signatures, they're already listed here. If this is the first time that you guys have gone into Authentisign, this will just be empty, okay? Let's do that all over again, but we're gonna do it a slightly different way. Stay with me, okay? Let's go back to the dashboard. You notice that I always go back to the dashboard when I'm lost. I want you guys to always go back to the dashboard when you feel lost. It's 11:39, we're right on schedule, okay? You can see the last transaction that I physically worked on, okay? So let's say I'm a paper guy. I love printing paper, okay? And inside this particular transaction, I'm gonna go right into the agreement of purchase and sale, form 100. That's under the forms window, click on form 100. And I wanna print what I just finished here. Look at all this. Let me see all my clauses. Did I delete that clause? Yeah, I did. That's exactly the way you wanna print it. How do we print? You go over here to file. You go down to print, right? And it's gonna pop up your print menu. Depending on where you are, you're gonna have different things to print. Okay, so this is gonna open up my print menu, right? If I click on print, I don't wanna save it as PDF. Let's say I wanna print it to my brother. I have a brother printer at home, okay? That's the printer I want this to print on. For the people and the paper lovers, and I know I'm a paper lover too on occasion, okay? It just seems to be a little bit more efficient, a little bit more personal, okay? When you're actually physically explaining documents to clients. This is where you print your document, right? If there's a power failure, you've got hard copy, this is where you print your document, okay? And I would click on print and that would print on my printer. I'm gonna cancel this, okay? I'm going to exit out of this because I'm not printing. But I just wanted to show you guys where you would print your document from. It's quite simple. If you're in the document and you want to print it, go to File, Print. Does that make sense? Great. Okay, I don't want to print this. I want to send this agreement of purchase and sale, now that I'm in the document, to e-signature, right? So I actually have a choice because both of these pens go to Authentisign. Hey, I'm going to click on the top pen because I'm in the document anyways. Because I was in the agreement of purchase and sale, that's the document I was already in, and I clicked on the Authentisign pen at the top of my screen, right? It launched Authentisign with that specific document. And if you can see right here, you can actually see the document showing up. Now, before we can continue, this is a wizard, guys. You can't skip steps. It's asking you, in Authentisign, which is what we're in right now, do you want your clients to sign inline or simul-sign? I prefer simul-sign. You might want to choose sign inline. Sign inline means the first person you put into the signing order, they're going to get the document first. And until they've completed the document, no one else is going to see this. The second option is simul-sign. So you want everybody to see the document at the same time and be able to sign the document at the same time because you don't know who's going to be able to get to this document first. And you don't want to hold up the process. So guess what? For argument's sake, I'm just going to put in simul-sign. I don't click on advanced options. We're not going to cover that today. Okay, this is where all the security, set reminders, blah, blah, blah. All that stuff is in there. I'm going to expand step 2, participants. Now, remember, in our transaction kit, I was talking about setting everybody up. Now, I'm going to send this to my buyer, obviously. That's Chuck. Now, if you look right in here, is Chuck's email already there? Yes. If I want to make any modifications to Chuck, okay, I check it off. Maybe Chuck is right in front of me and he wants to electronically sign it right in front of me. I can do that right there. Now, for myself, as the listing agent, which is the Charles part right above it, it defaults to reviewer. But maybe I myself want to sign it because the co-op agreement, for example, requires the cooperation agent's initials and signatures as well. So I'm also going to say, you know what? I'll want to be able to sign this. Okay, so we've got 2 remote signers here, guys. But because we already set up people's profiles in the system, we don't have to do it. But let's just say, guess what? There's another Charles Park here, okay? Ming Yu Wang. This person happens to be the seller. What if we wanted to, we had this person's email address, and I actually wanted to include this person in the signing session, right? On the right-hand side here, we can actually sit here and modify this person's information. But we're not going to do that right now. The email is right here. Oops. Type details. Actually, I can't. Oh, they changed this. I used to be able to actually modify the information here. I can't change it anymore. So you know what? But we're not going to send it to the seller. We don't know the seller's information. We're going to add these 2 signing parties to this particular wizard. So let's click on Add. Okay. Now, if we made a mistake, you would see a big red exclamation mark beside the person if the system does not like either the email address or there's missing information in that particular person's profile. So once again, if I made a mistake, this is my buyer, I can click on that buyer, I can modify the information right here. So if I made a mistake on the email address, this is where I would modify it. If they don't like the name Chuck, right, and he prefers a different name, like my Korean name is Sang, that's my Korean name, guys, okay? And legally, that's my name, okay? If Chuck is actually saying Chul, because that's his legal name, and that's what it says on his driver's license, well, geez, maybe we should actually use his real name in Authentisign. Oh, it's also asking me to put custom initials. So his initials would be CP, okay? Save participant. There you go. So it's changed the name of that particular person during our e-signature. Arnie, I'm not sure why you can't open the pen. So we're gonna keep going because we're running a little bit short on time. Maybe you can unmute your microphone and we can take a quick look, okay? Arnie, I hope you're not using a tablet.
No, I'm on a Mac, but I can't get into Authentisign after we've done the offer and stuff. I can't open that.
You don't see the pen while you're in the form? Are
I'm
you in the form?
offer. I'm in the offer, the Schedule A and everything, and I'm trying to send to Authentisign and
No. Did you click on the pen?
from the top, yeah.
Yeah, you clicked on it, and what does it open?
No, it doesn't. That's what I'm saying. It just
doesn't
goes
open
wrong.
anything?
No, it's still.
Maybe
in
you've
the
already got it
offer.
open. Take a look at your tabs.
Okay. So I'm at the three things, and then where do I look for there?
Do you see step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4?
Yeah. See, no, I don't.
You don't see that at all.
No,
Do you have any other Lone Wolf tabs open? How many do you have open?
I'm in the agreement of purchase and sale.
No. Look at the top. Look at the tabs. Do you see anything else open? How many tabs do you have open?
Oh, I don't know. There's so many.
Oh, that's the problem. You should be closing all those tabs.
Okay.
Okay, but except don't close this session.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's going to log you out. Okay. So Arnie, we're going to keep going.
Yeah.
The next step here is documents. Okay. Now, because we clicked on the pen on the top, right? And we were in the agreement of purchase and sale already, it automatically pulled that document into Authentisign. However, we want other documents. So we want to add the other documents. Now, adding the other documents, right, can be from a lot of other places. This is when you decide what documents you want to send through Authentisign. Now, if we go back to the original transaction kit, 15 Jacinta, I'm going to click on it. Remember all those forms that we created in the template? They all came over. We can see them. Now, we've already got the agreement of purchase and sale. We don't want to add that again. We do want the cooperation agreement. Okay? Let's say we want working with a realtor. We want the offer summary document. Okay? So these are all documents that we want part of this transaction. We don't want these other documents yet. This is further into a transaction that we would require these documents. But guess what? These documents for getting an offer signed are pretty critical, right? So if I click on add in the top right-hand corner, watch what happens. Great. Janice, next one is optional for people. Like this is not a next one course. This is an Authentisign course. We will probably be dealing with next one training at a later date. Okay. So watch this, guys. I've got 4 documents in Authentisign. Now, the beautiful thing about, because we imported these documents from Stratus into Webforms, right? And then from Webforms directly into Authentisign, if I click on any of these, oops, close. I'm sorry. If I click on design, I'm sorry. If I click on design, watch this. You guys are going to love this. When I scroll, I'm going to make this a little bigger. When I scroll down, for those of you who are seeing this for the first time, look, it's actually auto-populated where the buyer's initial already goes. Right? We're going to be dealing with Schedule B in 1 second, guys. Okay? I just wanted to show you that all the initial fields are in here for your buyer to already sign. Look at that. It's already there. It's already there. It's already there. It's already there. There's the co-op agreement. Okay? It's already there. Okay? So if you guys are seeing this, this is a fantastic time saver. We're not clicking and dragging all this stuff. Okay? Now let's go back. I'm trying to answer the question about Schedule B. We're going to save and continue by going back. You see where we were adding documents? This is where you would add your Schedule B. So let's click on Add Documents again. Now I'm going to zoom out because it's a little bit big. We're not going to go to the forms and documents anymore, right? We're going to upload a file manually. So right below where it says OneDrive, I'm going to click on Upload a File. Okay, honey, keep up with us. We're gonna get there in a second. Now, do you remember where I saved that document? I think I call it Jacinta B. There it is. I found it on my desktop. Now, if you're having trouble navigating, it's on the left-hand side here is where your navigation screen is to where all your directories are. Find where you saved that document because you downloaded it, and I'm going to double click on it. Okay. Now, the Jacinta B document is here, but it looks a little bit different. It doesn't have these little yellow reddish icons on it. It's because it's not a native document to the system. So it doesn't automatically know where to populate initial and signature fields, which is why this icon looks slightly different. Okay, so that, I hope that answers your question on how to add Schedule B to your Authentisign session. Now, from here, honey, you see where it says design right here underneath the documents? That's where you click on design. That's step 4. Awesome. Let's get, oops, that's too big. There we go. You can see a little bit more of it. So we left off here. Now let's just say there's something in here with, actually, let's go right to Schedule B, which is right at the end here. Okay, Schedule B was not part of the original signing session. Okay, now here's the biggest pain in the butt. We don't have buyer information in here. So if Sangchul Park, who is also known as Chuck Park, right? If I click drag and drop, I can actually get the signer's name, and I can click and drag that over here. You see how that works? So everybody following? I just clicked on the signer's name and I put that there, right? Unfortunately, I don't know if I have the seller's name in here because they're not a party to this signature session. See this pull down? I didn't include them in here. So what do I got to do now? I got to click on markup. Now let's go back to the actual Stratus. What was the seller's name here? Ming Yu Wang. Okay. I hope I remember that. Let's go back to this. Ooh. Lone Wolf. Okay. Lone Wolf is the actual Authentisign tab that I'm clicking on. Ming Yu Wang. I'm going to click on markup. I'm going to click on the T. I'm going to click on it. Let go. I'm going to go here and I'm going to create a text box. Oops. Make that a little bit bigger. And was it MINGYUWENG? Let's double check the spelling of that. Oops, there it is. Oh, there's no space. Ming Yu Wang is all one word. So let's go back to Lone Wolf. All one word, Ming Yu Wang. Got it? Property address. Once again, I'm going to click on under markup. I'm going to click on the T. And I'm going to create a text box right here. And this is the unfortunate thing, guys. I know some people have tried to cut and paste. If I try and cut and paste this, I don't know why it doesn't work. Copy this. I've tried pasting. Let's see if it works this time. Maybe they made some enhancements. Nope, I can only copy. There's no paste. Okay. Here, there is, however, I think Control V or Control P. Control X. Nope. So you used to be able to cut and paste in here, but now I got to actually physically manually type this address in here. So that is 15 Jacinta Court. 15, click on the space, 15 Jacinta CRT. Okay. And the date of this agreement was today. So once again, click on T. Today is the 28th. Click on the box, 28. Click on the T again. Today is May, M-A-Y. And click on the T again. And it is year 2020. Click 2020. Okay. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with how to create these boxes, Control V worked for you? That's awesome. I don't know why my Control V didn't work. It's really strange. On a Mac, I think Control V works. Okay. And we're pretty much done here for making it look good. However, we are missing something at the bottom here. What are we missing? The buyer's initials. So drag and drop. Sangchul Park, who's also known as Chuck Park. I need his initial as the buyer right here. So if I'm missing anything, guys, right, this is where you click and drag this stuff from. Now, let's say on the co-op agreement, let's say we forgot to check some boxes off. Let's go back up to the co-op agreement. There it is. See where these X's are, right? Actually, I can create X's. So this is a drag and drop checkbox, right? And this is the optional checkbox. The red one, it automatically populates an X for you. So if I actually were to bring this over and put that here, that's auto-populated. That's going to show up with an X. If you choose the other one, I'm going to hover. Oh, by the way, if you make a mistake and you hover above it and you get these green dots around the box, you can go in here and there's a little trash can. You can delete it. Okay. If I want to use the blue one, when the signer gets this, right, they will be asked to check it off or not. Okay. And that's the difference between the red and the blue check mark boxes. But I don't need either or. I am just going to trash that. Now, I got a lot of pretty good stuff in here, guys. So this looks like it's ready to be sent. Would you agree?
Yes. Charles, I have a question.
Yeah.
Can this form be added previous to this step at any other time? I know you added it.
No,
now.
if you're in the design stage, you can't add anything. You can only modify. So you have to go back to the documents if you want to add another form.
Okay, for the purpose of putting in the seller's name and all that information already ahead of time before you add it or something, maybe? I don't know.
Well, like on Schedule B, if you have, this is the biggest problem. Like we downloaded a nice, clean Schedule B from Century 21, right? You saw that?
Right.
Nice and clean, right?
Yeah.
But it didn't have any information in it.
Yeah. So
Do you have the ability?
Before you saved it, you could have populated if you wanted all that information.
I can. Can you?
I'm sorry?
So what program would you do that in?
Well, when you went to save it, when you saved it, you can probably go from MLS to the form, cut and paste. It'll be a lot easier. It's already there.
I'm telling you right now, I've tried it and it doesn't save.
Okay.
You can print it, but you can't electronically save a PDF document that you don't own. Unless you have a PDF editor software, which I do.
Okay, I got you. Yeah.
You got it?
Okay.
Do you have a paid PDF editing software? You pay for one?
I
Like a
don't,
Adobe?
but I'm sure there's, yeah, I know.
Okay, so if you have one, you can import that PDF into your editing software, modify it, save it with all the text, right? And then import it into Authentisign. But if you just take somebody else's document, yes, they will allow you to type on it and print it. But try saving it to your desktop because you're not the owner of that document. That layer of text that you've added to that PDF will not save.
Charles,
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you for answering.
Okay.
Charles,
Yes, Frank.
if you add a blank schedule into your first forms, then you can
Like I
copy.
just did.
No, when you're first setting up your templates, right?
Yeah. You
You
want to
put
add a
in-
page?
You add a page, the blank set schedule,
Yeah.
and you name that B. Then you can copy what's on the one that they provided us and paste it onto the new
You're
form.
absolutely right if it's in an editable format. But what if it's not editable?
That one was.
I know, but what if it's not editable?
Then you're screwed.
So for the purposes of training, right, I'm showing you how to edit non-editable documents.
Very good.
Okay, because what I'm training you to do, you can do no matter what it is, right?
Yep. Thank you.
Okay, no problem. All right, so if we're pretty happy, we've got Schedule B in here, we've got our co-op agreement, working with a realtor, we've got the agreement of purchase and sale, everything's really raring to go. What are we gonna do? We're gonna click on next. Now look at this. We can customize the invitation to the email, but really, what do you really want to say? In your trading practice, guys, you should be calling your clients. Okay? Call your clients and tell them you've sent them an e-signature document. Okay? So watch this. I'm going to send an invitation. And if I remember correctly, I thought I had my Yahoo open. But let's no, it's not open on this screen. I'm going to open it up on another screen. Oh, I misspelled Yahoo. Go figure. All right, I want to sign into my mail. That's my email address.
Now we know where you've been surfing, Charles.
I didn't even know what the hell that was. Next.
You've been surfing for masks.
Masks. Where's my phone? I've got this two-stage authentication. So I'm going to activate, resend. Oh, there it is. And FDBC. And look, a signature is requested. And this is what the email is going to look like. So my Yahoo account, for your information, guys, it is my junk email account. If someone asks me for an email address, I always give them my Yahoo because it is not my primary email address. Okay. So it tells me who's sent, it was sent from, if you guys can see that. So let me double click on that to make it a little bit larger. So we're obviously doing this on a desktop. It's going to look different on a handheld device, but virtually what's going to be the same is this big blue button that your client's going to see. So when you're talking to them on the phone, say, click on the big blue button, start signing. Okay, so this will give me the option to draw a signature or to accept the signature that it is already selected for me. You know what, I'm going to use my mouse. I'm going to put like this. Chuck.
Chuck Norris.
There you go. Next. And that's my initial. Adopt signature. Yay. Okay. So your clients can be doing this in the background. I want to accept these signatures. And if I zoom out a little bit. Yeah. Now you see the big start button in the top right-hand corner? This is what your client's going to see. So look for the big red start button. I know they're going to want to scroll with their finger if they're doing it on their phone, but to say, look, do you see a big red start button? Let's click on that. It's going to take you to the first initial. Okay, you see that at the right here, and it's actually kind of highlighted it for you. And then you know what? They got to click on it, and then it's going to take them to the next initial, and they got to click on that. Now, hopefully, while they're clicking on it, you're explaining to them what they're clicking on. But that's in your specific real estate practice. Click on the next one, right? This is a full signature. Okay, this is a full signature. Don't argue with me on this, guys. Normally, when you're sending an offer, you don't pre-sign acknowledgements. That's not standard practice. The Toronto Real Estate Board, I don't know why. Maybe they got a request to have this pre-populated. I don't normally pre-sign acknowledgements when I send an offer, because the acknowledgement, if you know from a legal perspective, means that you actually received the documents. You acknowledge that you've received your accepted documents. This is not the case right now. So, but anyways, just for argument's sake, let's click on that. Let's click on the initial. I believe that, let's scroll. That was Schedule A. Yeah, that's Schedule A. Okay. That's the co-op agreement. That's co-op agreement. This is the working with a realtor. And it's actually gotten blue. Oops, let's decline this one. Let's go back to the top because there were two initials. It gave you the choice of either one. I do want this one. I want to accept this one. Okay. And this is the offer summary document. This looks like Schedule B. Let's go. Oops. Yeah, that is Schedule B. Oh, I don't know why we got two just sent to courts in there. Oh, you know what? I think my Control V did work. And I'm going to click on and accept that. Okay. Now, this is where a lot of people get confused. They can't find this window that pops up, says complete signing. For some reason, especially on a handheld device, this is buried further down somewhere in the document. please ask them to say, do you see a window anywhere that says complete signing, right? You don't want to stay in review. You don't want to reset it. You want to click on complete signing. Okay, and here again, we don't want a password unless you really want to be secure about this and say, okay, here's the password I'm going to give you as the agent to get my document. If they set up a password, they got to tell you what that password was. But otherwise, click on no thanks. And then it says, thank you for using the Authentisign system. Now, this was from the client's perspective. We're sitting there in the background. We're still hanging around our computer systems, right? Looking at, you know, our stuff. Or here's the dashboard. Okay, like we're sitting here. Okay, if you go back to the dashboard and you launch Webforms and Authentisign, we're sitting there in the dashboard. Okay, and we're going, what's going on with this? If you, now you may not have this window that I have at the bottom here. If you want to access that specific signing session that you're having with that specific client, what you got to do, you got to go over to the pen. Okay, on the left-hand side, click on that pen. And you see at the top of the list, that's the signing session, right, that we were just dealing with, correct? So I want to click on that. Now look at this. So Sangchul Park, who's check 2001 CA at yahoo.ca, we saw that he authenticated, which means he opened the document and accepted the document, and the checkered flag shows that he successfully signed the document. Now, it's not complete because myself, as the listing agent, was required to do some signatures of my own, okay? So I can go into the revision 1 document. If you look at the bottom here, it says document for 15 Jacinta, right? Revision 1. The original document that we sent is right here, okay? The document that's been signed by one of the parties is revision number 1. Now, if I go into my Gmail, because I sent this to myself, where is it here? My signature is requested, okay? I'm going to sign this myself remotely. Start signing. So I'm going to show you, I'm going to do this partially, I'm going to do this part way so you can see what changes. Okay, so I don't need to draw my signature. I accept this signature. I'm going to click start. Because I'm the cooperating salesperson, I need to sign this. And I need to initial here. Now watch this. I haven't clicked on complete signing. A lot of people, they get hung up here. If I go back to my Instanet, my signing session, and I refresh this by clicking this refresh button, it's asking me to sign in again. Why is that? No problem. I think Stratus has logged me out, guys. And this is going to happen. So you know what? Let's log out. Let's log back in again. When you're out of Stratus long enough, this is what happens. Sure, it's happened to you guys many times. Find my authenticator. Log in. Okay, so let's say these signatures are taking hours and you've gone and you've had dinner and you're still waiting for to try to figure out whether your client has signed all the documents or not. You log back into Stratus, you click on Webforms-Authentisign. Great. And guess what? Right at the top of my menu, because I've got the widget, I can click on that, but you guys may not have that view pane. I'm going to go over to the left. I'm going to click on Authentisign because you guys all have the menus on the left-hand side. And I'm going to click at the top, which is Jacinta Court. Now look at that. Remember on my own Gmail, I did not complete signing this document. So I authenticated it, but it's still timed out for it actually being signed because I never clicked on complete. So if I actually go back to my Gmail and it opened up a window, I believe, for me to sign. Where would that be? Right here. I got to click on complete signing. Until I've clicked on this, That's taken a while. Hello, Lone Wolf. Okay, so while we're talking about this, guys, you know, I'm going to imagine that this is a client and that this is what they're seeing. I'm not exactly sure, but if I look over at Lone Wolf and I refresh this, this is the refresh button in the top left-hand corner for your website. Oh, no, it still hasn't refreshed. I wonder why. This looks glitchy. Wow, don't tell me they hung up. Let's try that again. Let's start signing it again. This has happened before where it gets hung up. I accept. I'm going to start. Yeah, for some reason it didn't fully see that everything complete signing. Okay, so now I've got the congratulations menu, okay? So if I go back into Lone Wolf as the agent and I refresh, wow, it's kicked me out. That is really strange. Let's go back into web forms again. Evelyn, if you're listening, I'm going to take this recording and I'm actually going to show this recording to Lone Wolf because this is a little bit aggravating. Let's go back into Authentisign. Let's go back to Jacinta Court. There it is. So you can see on the right-hand side, now that all the parties have signed this e-signature document, there it is, original document on the left-hand side, revision 1, revision 2, but because everything is complete, there's the final document. This is the document that you need to send to the listing agent, okay? So watch this. I'm gonna click on the final document. Yeah.
Meanwhile, you're here, please stay on this screen because it happened to me. I just want to share with you and other people. It might happen to everybody. Okay. I sent document to husband, and after husband was supposed to go to wife.
Yeah.
I see that flag is okay, authenticated, and everything is perfect. Husband side. Now wife called me and he said, Frank, I want to change my email address. I forgot about that password.
Okay, so they put in a password?
She said, I forgot my email password. If I give you another email address, would you please just resend it to me? Now imagine, husband already signed and it's on the way to go to wife.
Hang on, I've been muted. Who's muting me? Hello, can you guys hear me?
I hear you, Charles.
Okay, sorry, someone muted me. I'm not exactly sure how, but anyways, so Frank's question has, and I think we dealt with this before, Frank. You need to go back into, okay, let's go back to the dashboard. Hang on.
Because it might happen to somebody else. At least we go through this experience.
Yeah, right now I'm having problems with resizing my screen, which is another issue. Okay, let's go back to Webforms-Authentisign. Like, it's a little bit late to talk about it now because we've completed this particular document. What you did, right, is that you had one party sign, but the other one didn't, right?
That's right.
Okay, so halfway through something, I don't know if I can use this one. Was this, I don't think this was completed, right? So this isn't, I was actually testing the system before I came onto the call with you guys. Here's a situation where this is not a completed signing session. Do you see it on your screens? And I don't know why it looks so small. Here we go. Do you see this? Does this look familiar? It has not been authenticated. It has not been signed yet by one of the parties, correct?
Yes.
Now watch this. You see, because under participant name, there's an edit button. Because nothing's been completed yet. I can change the email address right here.
Okay.
You see that?
Yeah, perfect.
Where is it?
So if you have an incomplete signing session and something's gone amok,
In my room.
and in your particular case, if I remember correctly, you put one wrong character in the email address. Was that right?
That's right.
Right. I remember that. So what you could have done is gone. Let's start this all over again. So this is a completely different document, not the one that we've been working on. So for your particular example, which I have an example of, I have an incomplete Authentisign signing session. So I'm going to click on, let's expand this, okay, on Authentisign from the dashboard. I'm going to go into that incomplete session. And there it is. And you can see under step 2, which is the participant's name, I can edit if I've made a mistake at this stage.
Perfect.
You got it?
Thank you.
Okay. And okay, let's do this. You know what? I'm gonna actually edit this. Why not? Let's just do this for training purposes. I'm gonna put Charles at remaxwest.net. Okay, that's the right email address. Now I want to save this participant. And guess what? It just sent an updated email to Charles at remaxwest.net, which is linked to my Gmail account. Go to inbox. Look. Oh, no, that's not it. So this is an update that someone has signed the document. And I don't know how long the Remax West server takes. Those are all the complete messages.
Charles?
Yeah.
Charles, it's Jasmine. I just interrupted. My mic isn't working. If you go back into the Zoom screen, into the actual Instant Authentisign,
Yeah.
Once you update the email and you click resend, it will be resent to you.
Yeah, it was automatic.
You'd have to click on it. Try it. I don't know. Maybe it'll work then.
It did.
Oh.
It happened very quickly because as soon as I said save, it updated the email address and automatically sent another email. Now I'm just waiting for it on this side because my Remax West email address is linked to my Gmail, and I don't see it coming through yet. But you know what? We do have that problem with the remaxwest.net email server. It's a little bit slower, but if I'm the client and that's the correct email address, I will eventually get it in my inbox right here. Okay, but that's just that's if you make a mistake. Okay, so that's going back to making a mistake on that specific signing session, and that's how we would correct that scenario. Guys, we only have about 40 minutes left. What I really wanted to go through was the condominium side of things, if you guys have time. So for those of you who need to cut out, I totally understand. It's been a long seminar already. We've gone the full cycle from beginning to end. We've, clauses, templates, creating a transaction kit from Stratus, right? Taking that transaction kit, adding documents. We've put them into Authentisign. We've designed the Authentisign document and customized it. We've sent it to our client and we've walked them through the entire electronic signing process. I'm gonna do it very quickly, once again, using a condo. Are you guys okay with that? Wahid, if you wanna take a break, you can. Like I said, I'm recording this, so hopefully, well, Evelyn's recording it. If she can, if you want to refer back to this in the recording, we can always do that as well. I just want to get to 1 o'clock without going over. So let's go back, guys. Let's close this. Let's close this.
Charles, quick question, if you don't mind, buddy.
Yeah.
Quick. Now, we're doing this, we're sending it straight out to our buyers or sellers, whatever, if it's a listing or an agreement. Now, do you suggest that we also, let's say if it's an agreement of purchase and sale, can we also send it out automatically, that once our clients sign, it automatically goes to the listing agent, let's say?
Yes, you can. So you would add them as a reviewer. If you have their email address,
yeah.
I tell you what, let's do it. Let's just do it. Let's not talk about it. Let's just do it, okay?
Okay, but what happens on that end once they receive it as a reviewer? They can then print it. They have it automatically.
They can do whatever they want with it.
Okay.
Okay,
So,
it's just like your client getting a copy of their own offer.
okay, so it saves us a step from saving it, resending it.
Yeah, and as you know, in e-signature packages, we get acknowledgement. We get confirmation through the system that they've opened it.
Okay.
So if I'm trying to send a document to a listing agent, I just want to know whether this guy's opened up my document. Of course, I'm going to send it through an e-signature package. Because if I just attach it to a PDF and send it through Outlook or through my Gmail, how do I know that this guy's actually opened up the document? So it is more, it's more preferred for, on a contingency that this person, this person claims they never got your offer, or, so on and so forth. That, how some people like to play games. Right? I never got your offer. Well, you know what? Authentisign says you opened it.
Yeah, yeah. I've never really done it, so I really don't know what they actually see on the other side. How, you know, how much do they need to see or not see?
Well, as a reviewer, you get to see, you don't have to sign anything. You get to see, you click on the link and you get, it takes you right into the PDF. And then you have to save it as a PDF or attach it to an email, send it to your client as a listing agent. But that's on the opposite side, right?
So as a reviewer, do they get to see my my client signatures?
Yes.
So it's a finished
Because
document.
that layer is flattened right onto the PDF document.
Okay, let's do one.
Okay, so yeah, let's do this. So I'm gonna do a quick search. Let's quickly search a condo. So condo that's available for sale. And let's pick something that's, I'm in York region. I'm in Vaughan. And let's see if there's something that's close to me. I think,
I thought you were going to show us how to send the offer to the listing agent.
Oh, well, okay. I could back up. I actually showed you guys, sorry, I got interrupted when I was trying to show you the final document, right?
No, then don't back up. That's fine.
Okay, well, I'm gonna show, we're gonna do it again. Okay, this thing is already sold conditionally, but that's okay. We can still use this. So I know this is a local condominium building. I can actually see it from my window, from where I'm sitting, okay? Let's say, even though this is sold conditional, it's conditional on financing and status certificate and inspection. It's got all sorts of, you know, weird things going on with it. I've got a buyer that wants to buy this as well, okay? So I'm gonna, I've got the MLS open, right? I look at the top, I see Webforms-Authentisign, I'm gonna click on it. Great. And remember when we made that condo template, guys? Condo sale template, and I called it the training. I'm gonna use that template, okay? MLS number looks correct. I am the cooperating salesperson on this, and I'm gonna use the wizard. I'm gonna click on create. I'm gonna go a little faster with this, guys, because you know what? You're all seeing this for a second time. Okay, we're not gonna spend as much time filling in all the details. Okay, obviously no property width, depth. This is a condominium, okay? We're just gonna go right into the purchase price. So what was it asking? It was asking for $479. Because there's already an offer accepted on it, I'm gonna give them full price offer, $479,900. Where are we here? Oops. What happened to my window? There it is. Okay, $479,900. Okay, deposit on this, I'm gonna give them, what do we give them, 10 grand? Right, there's no additional property deposit. It is single, family, residential. Great. Property includes, I go back to Stratus MLS. Let's take a look at what it includes. I'm just gonna cut and paste it right out of here. Copy, throw that right into my offer. There's no exclusions. Rental items, none. Additional schedules. Now, was there a schedule here, guys? Let's double check. Go back to the top. Schedules. There's a Schedule B, right? I'm gonna download that. Desera. So this is on my desktop, under my temp directory. _B. Save. So I called it by its street name, and there it is. You're right. Actually, here's what's funny. To answer your question, Leo, my version of Adobe will allow me to modify this, but you see the fields, this is a scan. So the fields are actually not even here. I can't click on any fields and actually fill this form in. I would actually have to click on Edit PDF, launch my PDF editor to modify this specific Schedule B. So now that I've saved it, I'm gonna exit out of it. I'm gonna go back to my transaction kit. I know that there's a Schedule B, so I'm gonna add it, right? I'm gonna click on Next. Okay, offer date is today. You know what, I'm gonna be aggressive. I'm gonna make it irrevocable for today. Okay, there's no additional deposit. And I wanna close, I want a long closing date. I'm gonna click August. Let's pick the end of August, the 28th of August. Okay, title search date would be 2 weeks before, and that would be August 14th. Next, that save and exit button there is so appealing. I'm gonna add the buyer. Once again, new transaction contact. This person is a buyer, right? And it's gonna be Chuck. Last name Park. You know his email address is CHUCK. Oops.
You can go from the same buyers, right? Save buyers.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just doing this for the sake of training. Okay.
Oh, yeah. We know
I'm
you know.
slowing it down for you guys. I can do this a lot faster, but then everyone's gonna be like, whoa. Okay, let's save this. Okay, the
Charles,
buyer
your
is
email
in.
address was wrong when you put Charles.
Mine?
Yes.
My buyer address?
Yeah, if you check again. Yahoo.
You're right. Save. Oh, and that's wrong again. YAHOO. Right? Save. Pretty simple, right? All right. What do we want to do? We wanted to make, like, Leo, do you want to be a reviewer on this?
I could be.
Okay, so why don't I add you? Okay. I'm going to add you as a reviewer.
Okay.
Okay. So let's see here. Add. And I don't have you in my system. So let's say you are.
I'm the
call you
buyer,
the
right?
lawyer.
Oh,
Maybe you're the buyer's lawyer. Okay. Whatever. It doesn't matter, right?
Yeah.
You're the buyer lawyer, Leo. And
I could be the listing agent.
yeah, but there is already a listing agent in here, and you're not the listing agent.
Yeah, but you're gonna put my email, so it doesn't matter.
No. But it doesn't matter. What I'm trying to describe is you're a third party to this, right? You're just gonna be able to review the document. You want to see what it looks like, correct?
Yeah.
So CAMPANE.
Double LA.
That's it?
Yeah.
What's your email?
Leo Campanella at yahoo.com.
At yahoo.com. Does that look right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, great. I'm going to save you. Great. I'm going to click next. Now, click on the agreement of purchase and sale, which is Form 101. Okay, look at all this stuff, all pre-populated. Isn't that great? City of Vaughan, oops, caps. And being, now, here's what's funny. They don't give us the legal name of the condominium corporation. They don't populate that from MLS. So we're gonna actually have to extrapolate that from the MLS being on the condominium side. So YRSCC 1053, am I correct? Paste. And I'm just gonna type this in, 1053. The unit number and its legal description, hopefully the Stratus MLS is correct. Unit 14, level 1, ground floor unit. Level 1. And the building number, this is 50. Now, was there a parking spot in this thing? Parking spot number 103, right? Did they give us a legal description for it though? Locker, where's parking? Okay, so I don't see the parking legal description here, guys. So I'm just gonna put in here 103 for now. Okay, and was there a locker? There doesn't seem to be a locker, so we can skip that, okay? Go down, oops. Now, the price populated, deposit's gonna be upon acceptance. $10,000. The listing broker name is Sutton Group Admiral. So let's just cut and paste this thing right in. Oops. Copy. Let's put that in here. Some of you like to put in trust. I get it. irrevocable. I'm going to be really aggressive by the buyer until 11:59 because I love to stay up late and watch late shows tonight. Okay, completion date looks good. Okay, what is the listing agent's email address? Let's go look it up. Close, click on Anna. So she's using a corporate email address. Copy. I'm going to throw that in there. Great. Okay, our chattel's made it in, right? This is all filled in. Oh, common expenses. What did the MLS say? Close. Go back to the top. 348.83. 348.83. And what did it include, guys? It includes water, air conditioning, building insurance, parking, and common elements. Okay. So I can type all that in. Water. Building insurance. Parking. Common elements. Did I miss anything here? Water. Air conditioning. I don't know. Air conditioning is not really a thing, guys. So I'm going to skip that.
And heat is included.
You know what I think it is? It's one of those wall. So because hydro's not included. Yeah, heat. Yeah, let's put that in there. I'm going to put it at the front. Comma, space. Okay. We didn't get a specific locker number. Sorry, parking lot number, right? A legal description. So I'm just going to put in level 1, 103, just for argument's sake. Number 103. Okay. And we're going to say no additional cost. Okay. HST is included in because it's residential. Single family residential. All right. Let's mosey along. There's the signature stage. Look, Leo, your name's there as the lawyer. Congrats. Okay. Now let's look at these clauses. Do we have to manually fill anything here? So it is actually the buyer agrees because we got to fill all of these blanks in, right? This is how we have to modify our clauses if we use templates. To request at the seller's expense, right? Well, there's a lot of stuff.
Or the seller could agree as well.
Yeah. Like I said, this is all freehold, right? Free forming, and we want it within 10 days. Okay. No later than 5 p.m. on. Now let's pick a date. If they accept it tonight, we probably want this is the status certificate. So 10 business days starting tomorrow. That would be 5, 6, and then going down. Let's say we want it by the 5th of June. Okay. Does that make sense? No, that's actually not long enough. It would be the 12th of June. On June 12th, 2020. Okay, so we filled in the status certificate condition. Once again, we don't want a mortgage because we have cash, because we only have rich clients. We don't even want to inspect this place, okay? Let's get rid of the inspection. Now, I created a lot of space on Schedule A, and I know I have all these clauses on Schedule B. Sorry, the second page of Schedule A. What I can do here, guys, once again, cut and paste. I can highlight all of this text. I'm going to cut it. Okay. Yes. And I can actually paste it Woo! What just happened there? That was funky. I want to paste it on my first page, just to make it look cleaner. Did you guys see how I did that? Okay, so all the clauses are on one page now. Okay, and look, it's automatically deleted the last page. So there's only 6 pages of 6. Okay, quick and dirty. Transaction forms, confirmation cooperation. Yeah, I see some of you have peeled off. Hopefully I'll see you on the, where is it here? Transaction forms. This is the confirmation cooperation. I'll see you on the YouTube video. So we're gonna start filling in check marks where they're needed. Check mark, double check the commission that's in here. It is 2.5% plus HST. People are not being stingy. And let's go down. No additional disclosures. All of this stuff has been populated. Fantastic. Okay. Look what it did with the listing agent's name, the seller's name. It reduced the size of it to a minimal text. All right. Okay. To save time, guys, I'm okay with this. I'm actually gonna go right from here. I'm gonna click on the pen on the top right-hand corner, which is Authentisign. I'm gonna click Simulsign. Participants. Now here's what we want. Leo, I want you to be a reviewer. Actually, it already defaulted you as a reviewer. I can make you sign it, but you just want to review it. Obviously, I want the buyer to sign this, right? I am the cooperating broker, right? I don't want to review it. I want to actually sign this thing, okay? And nothing is going to these guys because this is live, guys. I'm not going to send an offer to these, a full price offer especially, to these guys for real. So let's add all of these parties. And it looks like everybody, oh, look at this. Yes, it's wanting us to confirm everybody's role in this transaction. So Chuck is the buyer. I am the cooperating salesperson, right? And that's it. That, you know what? It's interesting because it doesn't have a lawyer in here. Save. Great. Let's click on documents. Now, because I was in the confirmation of cooperation and representation, that's the only document that came over. What I want to do, right, is bring the rest of my forms over. So obviously the agreement of purchase and sale, right? Working with a realtor and the offer summary document. I'm going to add those to my documents. Great. And there we go, save. All the documents are there. Oh, we forgot to add Schedule B. Let's upload a file. Under my temp directory, this is DeSera. That was their Schedule B. Let's open it. Oops, that was weird. What happened there? That glitched out. Let's go back to signing this. Let's check our participants. I don't know what happened there, guys. That was a really strange glitch. So Leo, you are reviewing it as the buyer lawyer. These are all the parties, and there's 2 remote signers. Add. I'm going to save that. Check my documents, which is where we left off. Wow, it didn't work. Problem with technology, guys. Oops. Okay, let's add my Schedule B first. Okay, since I'm in here. DeSera Schedule B, open. Okay, and I want to add my forms and documents from the transaction kit, agreement of purchase and sale, confirmation cooperation, working with a realtor. No, I already had the co-op agreement. Working with a realtor and offer summary document. Add. And we're going to confirm this. This is where we glitched out before. Everything looks good. Let's click design. We've only got 20 minutes left. Okay, let's go through this. Co-op agreement looks good. Initials are all in place. Actually, it's missing my signature, isn't it? So as the cooperating agent, I want to drag and drop my signature here with the date. A little strange, but anyways, let's keep going down. That's the client signature. Now, I'm not going to fill this in, guys. We're missing the buyer's initial, so I'm going to add that here. I've got 2 scheduled Bs. Isn't that weird? How did I end up with 2 scheduled Bs? This is getting really glitchy now. Agreement of purchase and sale. There we go. Initials in the right spot. Initials in the right spot. That's good. That's good. Signatures in the right spot. Co-op agent and client are all in the right spot. Schedule A. That initial's in the right spot. Working with a realtor. Yeah, I'm not going to fill this in. We're going to delete the one that we don't want. Delete. Oh, I deleted the wrong one. Delete. And we want to put that signature with the client, which is Chuck Park, back in. Sign here. Let's put that back with the date. Okay. Let's go down to the bottom. Offer summary document. And we're done. Okay. Click next. Okay. So before I send an invitation, does anybody have any questions? I don't see anything in the, I know I'm moving fast, Arnie, but the whole purpose of this was to do it fast so that you could see how easy it was. Yeah, the video, if when Evelyn gives it to me, I will upload to my YouTube channel. Guys, just ask Evelyn, because I'll send her the link, and then you guys can all be able to review everything that we've just done here. So the only difference between this and the first time that we did it for freehold was this is condo, and we've added a third party to review the document. Okay, so it's actually created 2 different signing sections. Look at that. So even though it glitched out, it saved the previous one. So that's going to be a little confusing. Now, Leo.
Yeah.
You're still there, right?
Yes, I am.
Can you confirm that you received, because I clicked on SimulSign,
Yeah.
the reviewer copy of it?
Yeah, I'm looking for it. I haven't received it yet.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and log into my email. Let's see here. Signing complete. That was just sent. What is this? How can that be complete? Oh, no, that was the previous one, right? Forgot what transaction kit I was in. Let's wait for that email. You let me know if you see it on your side.
Okay.
Okay, and some of my PPE from Showcase have been shipped. So as the listing agent, I got the signature request. See, there it is. Okay, so I'm going to click Start Signing. I accept my signature. I'm going to click Start. There is my signature. So initial, signature, initial, initial, signature, and I'm going to complete signing. Great. Now, if I go back into the system, where's my, no, that's the actual transaction kit. There's my dashboard. I go over to the pen, click on Authentisign, and there is the one that is being worked on. Wow, it didn't like your email, Leo.
Let's look at it again.
So Leo Campanella.
Oh, you've got an E instead of an A, Charles.
Oh.
It's a good example.
Well, let's click on, okay.
There you go.
Campanella.
Right.
Not capital, lowercase, right?
Right.
Now I want to say participant. Right. And look what it says. Participant successfully updated and an email has been sent. Okay?
Press OK.
Great. But look, me as the cooperating agent, I've made all my signatures. I got all checkered flags in here. Okay? I'm going to go back to my Yahoo. My signature is requested. You see anything on your side yet?
Yeah.
You do?
1 second, Charles. Sorry.
Okay, go ahead, take that.
Charles, reviewer, here I am. Okay. I received it. It says review signing. Well, pages.
So can you see the PDF?
Yeah, it's coming up. Slowly.
Good. Now, because you're just, could you print that?
Well, first of all, it's asking me to download it. Do I accept? By clicking accept, you agree to terms. Yeah, I accept. Okay, one second.
Yeah.
Okay. I can see everything. I can see the cooperating broker signature. I don't have the buyer signature yet.
You know what? I just finished it. So guess what? Go back out of your email.
Okay.
And then go back into it, because now that I just finished signing it as the client, you should probably be able to see it now.
Right on. Okay.
See?
Let's do it again. It's loading all the pages.
Yeah.
Accept.
So if I refresh my dashboard, oh geez, look at that. It likes kicking me out. This system loves kicking me out. It's crazy.
So I can see everything, Charles.
You can see everything, right?
Right.
Ah.
So let's say for the purpose of this exercise, I'm the listing agent and I've received this, okay?
Yeah.
I can just save it and send it out to my clients. It'll save us.
Yeah, it's PDF. What can you do with a PDF?
Yeah. Well, I can put it in an e-document to send to my clients for their signatures, right? Or whatever.
Yeah. Let's say you're a DocuSign user. Okay. So watch this. I wanted to show everybody. You don't have to sign it. Okay. Actually, you know what? It's actually asking for a signature for some stupid reason. But anyways, okay. In this particular case, if I look at revision 2, which is all I actually really need, for those of you who are still on the call, if I take a look at this, oh man, I hate it when it does this, because when it cuts off the top, I got to zoom out to find this view as PDF. Right? That's the preview screen. I got to click on view as PDF to actually see the actual PDF rather than just the thumbnail. So I can see 12 pages, everything is all together. And I should be able to see that all the signatures are in here. And because I've opened it up as a PDF, actually, I can do everything that I want here. I can download it. I can print it, right? And once I downloaded it, I can upload it to whatever e-signature package I want. I can just take it in its raw format and email it to my client, ask them, sign it in your own e-signature package if you like.
Or I transferred $10,000 into the GICTFSA. The only thing that can happen is if you take that money out.
Someone has got them, someone of you unmuted yourself.
As long as I wait, it's fine. Yeah. And
Evelyn, if you're still on the call, can you help me out here?
Charles, it's me. I can help you.
Okay, can you? I don't know who's got their mic off.
Oh, okay, hold on. I got it. Got it.
Got it. All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
So anyways, guys, as you can see, I've got the full PDF, signed PDF in front of me. And because it's in PDF, right, I can save it wherever I want. I can attach it to an email, send it to my client. whatever the case. So I'm going to open it up for any questions. We've got a little bit of time left, 10 minutes. How to change the email if it was sent to the wrong email. So Janice, I'm not sure if you saw what we did. We did it fairly quickly, I know. But if you ever have a situation where like I did, I typed in Leo's wrong email address, there are edit buttons, right, that you can go back into and and start editing the contact information of those specific people so that we can get the right information. And as soon as you save it, the system should automatically generate a revised email for them to go and check.
Yes, I was
check
saying.
a document.
Charles,
Second, Janice?
Yes.
Great.
Charles,
Yes?
now I usually use Next One for signing back. Can we use Authentisign to sign back?
Okay, so I use all three. This particular training course was focused on Authentisign for a very specific reason, because Authentisign communicates directly to web forms.
Right. My question is, can we also use Authentisign to sign back?
Yes. So if I actually so now that I've got this PDF in front of me, watch this. Let's say I'm the listing agent and I just got this offer from somebody. Okay. I'm going to download this. And I save it as, okay, that's actually not confirmation cooperation. I'm going to erase all this stuff. I'm going to rename it that. Save. Okay, so if I actually want to go back to Treb, everybody recognizes the screen, and I go directly into Web Forms and Authentisign, right? I'm logging in completely fresh. So I've just received that PDF document in an email from a buyer agent, right? I want to send this for my sellers to accept. Okay, so guess what? I've got all these widgets on the left-hand side here. If you don't have them, no problem. You can actually click on the pen and you click add in the top right-hand corner. Do you see that? Now, let's call it seller, because I don't have their name, acceptance. On, what was the address of this property? DeSera?
DeSera, 50.
50 DeSera, right?
Yep.
So that's what I'm going to name it. Now, there's no transaction. So I don't pull down this menu and find a transaction. I'm just going to save this signing session. Right? So it just opens up Authentisign all by itself. And then I still have to, find my participants. So, let's go to my contacts. I just picked something really quick here. So let's just say there's Chuck. Okay? Remote signer, add. So that's my client, that's my seller. I may have saved this contact information because I sent them a listing agreement in Authentisign. You see? I click on documents. I want to upload that file that I just saved. And it is under temp, 50 DeSera Drive, PDF, open. So this is using Authentisign all on its own, nothing else.
Perfect.
Okay?
Thank you. Thank you.
And then I want to design it. And because I know my client is going to accept it because we had a conversation, I'm going to put all the initials and signatures and dates in the right spot. That make sense? So let's go down here. So there it is, the seller. So if I go to drag and drop and there's an initial for the seller, I'm going to put it right there. Okay? And the seller has to sign here. So that's a full signature. And the date that they sign it goes right beside it. Make sense? And Schedule B. I want their initial here. And I want their initial here. Okay? There's the actual agreement. Do I need an initial? I certainly do. Right there. Okay? Now, if it was a sign back on this page 1 of the agreement of purchase and sale, remember when I showed you the markup section, guys? If I don't like this price and I wanted to sign it back, guess what? I've got like a strikeout tool here, and I can actually just strike this out with a red line, right? Insert a text box, Go, I want more than asking. I want $520,000. Because I'm nuts. Okay? And then I want my client to initial. Huh?
Can I add more to whenever I want? You can have up to 60-something thousand because when this started, I think that's
I'm not here to argue with you about price. I'm trying to teach you software. Okay?
60,000. Yeah, 6,000 for this year. So I can add more.
Okay, ignore that comment, guys. I'm just trying to teach you a computer system.
You can have $60,000, and
Maria, that's not what this training's about.
Oh.
Okay. So let's keep going.
Am I on? I don't even know I was on.
You're talking.
Sorry.
We can hear you.
Sorry, my son was asking me about the FSAs.
Sorry. Sorry. I thought you were talking about the course. Can you mute yourself?
No.
Okay. All right. What are we missing here? Initials. There we go. Initial. Ooh, my drag and drop disappeared. There we go. Initial. So as you can see, this is very time consuming. Building all this stuff takes time. I know it's great to work from home. Okay, because we're not accepting it, we're not going to sign the confirmation of acceptance. Okay, but you know what? Let's go ahead and get to the last page here. Initial, oops. This thing's very finicky right now. And as you guys could probably tell, I like seeing the entire document in its totality, which just makes it easier for me, okay? Because if I can see the whole page, it's just easier for me to navigate. Okay, if I click on next, so we're seeing this for the third or fourth time, send the invitations, all the invitations have gone out. So we're at 12:58, so I timed this pretty perfectly, guys.
Charles, quick question.
Yeah.
When I create a template in future, if there is any, let's say, change in the form through Trap, through Oria or whatever, my template automatically will be updated.
Did you join us late, Frank?
No, from beginning.
I talked about it right at the beginning of the seminar.
Okay, sorry.
Yes, that's why I have when I went over the clauses, the custom clauses, I have all of my Schedule A saved under folders.
Okay.
So do you remember that portion?
Yes, yes. I'm not talking about clauses or condition. I'm talking about the actual form.
No, okay. So just to let you know, this is a sidebar, guys. The Real Estate and Business Broker Act, REBA, as we know it, we know is going away. So all the forms at OREA are going to change because it's being replaced by the Trust in Real Estate Services Act, TRISA. So we know for a fact that these templates that we just built today are going to be disabled because that's the way, for some reason, that this particular software works. Until they come up with a fix for that, I don't know what else to do to protect myself other than take all of my template Schedule A's, because that's what takes the most time. If you guys will agree with me, if you want to create a custom template, it takes time to create your custom Schedule A. Almost nothing else. The forms can change all they want. It's what's in that Schedule A that is really most important to you whenever you create that template. The form numbers and the Schedule A's. So go back to the cog, the setup cog, go back to clauses, and I showed this to you guys all at the beginning of the seminar, my personal clauses, my personal Schedule A clauses, because for all my templates, right, I've got them saved. They are not going to delete my custom clauses. They are going to disable your templates when the forms get updated. Hopefully they come up with a solution for that. I don't know if they've done that yet. I did submit a ticket for that a while ago because we know that all the forms are they change almost yearly, but there's going to be so many forms that change next year. If one form changes in your template, it disables the entire template. Okay.
Thank you.
All right, guys, we're at the end of our seminar. We're at exactly 1 o'clock. I want to thank everybody who hung out with me right to the very end. I know it was a long grueling training seminar. I really don't know how to do this any faster to get this out to you guys. For the people that missed it or are watching this on YouTube, please, you know, slap a like or a comment on the video. Let me know your feedback. I really do appreciate feedback, positive and negative. I really don't care. I just want to make sure that I'm doing the best for you guys, and then I'm hoping that you guys are learning something in each one of my courses. So until next time, guys, thank you very much. And
Charles?
Yeah.
Charles?
Yeah.
I just wanted to quickly introduce myself. I haven't had the chance to meet anybody yet, but I just joined as the business director here at the RE/MAX head office.
Yeah.
But I'll be helping with the academy and any social media questions or aspects with our office. So if anybody has any questions, they can reach out to me. And with this webinar as well, if anybody needs any assistance or one-on-one, I'd be happy to set up a time as well with me.
Yeah, we actually, so Jasmine, we only met on the conference call.
The conference call, yes.
Yeah, and I know you came from Royal LePage. You got about 7 years experience.
That's correct. Yes.
You worked with Mary Coughlin. That's amazing. So
that's
Mary
correct,
Coughlin
yes.
lives in my backyard.
Oh, really? That's awesome.
Well, we sell in the same marketplace. We're both Richmond Hill agents. Right?
Yes, that's correct.
So
that's correct.
We probably know a lot of common people.
We probably do.
Yeah. So Jasmine, welcome aboard. Glad that you could make it onto this call. We're only down to 52 participants now. We cut everybody in half. I know there were a lot of people that were on this video, on this training, that had already a lot of experience or had attended a lot of my trainings before.
Yeah.
Some things have changed, some things have stayed the same. But the whole purpose of this is a lot of people that were on this call also didn't get the training. And then when we got hit with this pandemic, we thought it really important that now that the business is gearing back up again and that the business landscape has changed, we wanted to make sure that everybody knew how to use e-signatures and knew how to work from home. And that's what hopefully we accomplished today.
Yes.
Well, Charles,
Great.
personally, I'd like to thank you for doing what you're doing.
No problem.
Great discussion. Thank you again.
Thank you, guys. And whoever's in charge of I'm going to leave this now for everyone. But please look, I'm going to post it to my closed Facebook groups and my closed YouTube subscribers. But if anybody wants a recording of this, please let me know. Most of you, I'm pretty sure, know my email address already. But if you don't, please respond to Evelyn on the invitation that you got to this seminar. All right. Thank you very much, guys. Have a great day.
Thanks, Charles.
Charles.